There we go.
And good evening, and welcome to Digital Fiasco Live for another lovely Monday. My name's Dandr0id.
And I'm Jack McBastard. It is another lovely fucking Monday.
All right, I'll give that. It's a lovely fucking Monday.
Man,
it's like minus 30 outside.
I really could have used like a couple extra days this week.
Yeah, like, can we, like, sign a petition to do that? Can we add, like, a couple days to the week? Because that would really help not only us out, but I think everyone else out there, too.
I have at least one more day left that I have to schedule in addition to my scheduled vacation.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of floating there. And I have a feeling
But
that
it's
any
like,
day now, it's just going to be today's the fucking day.
But it's like a day off that you get to schedule?
Yeah, it's just like a floater that I have left.
Well, be thankful for that.
Yeah.
I mean, I get like 2 days, and it's just like, oh,
That's
okay,
true.
well, where do I use them? Because that's it.
Well, yeah, I haven't used a lot of my vacation yet this year, so...
You're just banking it for the end of the year?
Yep, basically. And we are still waiting for the chat to come up. Good Lord, woman.
Well, I'm hoping that people are having a party in the chat there right now, because the chat is taking forever to load right now.
Joining us in the studio for the first time in a long time, we actually have our aggressively unpaid intern discount.
Yes, he has made a triumphant return.
Indeed.
He's in the hot seat tonight.
Any important chat going on in the...
Yeah, you get to see the chat there, discount.
Since we are apparently waiting for a Firefox update.
Oh, is that what caused it?
Yeah.
There you go.
First problem, use Firefox.
Well, I mean, take your pick, right? All of them are slow these days.
Yeah, they all kind of
What should I have
their...
used? Edge?
No, nobody
No.
uses Edge, not even Microsoft.
No. If Chrome wasn't so piggish... There we go.
It's funny, I think that Chrome actually has plugins to make it faster because it shuts other things in Chrome off to make it work faster.
God.
I know, it seems counterintuitive.
It really
but
does.
If it works, it works.
I guess so. I hear Discount laughing because we can't see the chat. That's probably not a great thing.
Oh, I'm sure Janus Marine is putting this through the ringer as
So
usual.
while we're waiting for the chat to come up and Janus Marine to start shilling his mobile game, what have you been playing this week?
Just more of the Surge. I actually got a good gaming session in on Sunday. Actually made some advancements in it rather than just kind of wandering around in a circle dying a lot.
That's good. That's important.
But no, I'm just thoroughly enjoying that game.
Yep.
I did part of the DLC, so the walk in the park or whatever, because apparently you need to make it later in the game to come back and then do the rest of the DLC. So it's split up because you have to be like a higher level to overload this like power cord to open like this door or something like that. So the way it works is that your level is akin to your your suit power, and that's how many like slots it has basically.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Metroidvania sort of thing.
Yeah, so that kind of deal. So basically you go into the DLC area, and all of a sudden there's this one power cord that's sitting there that's like 60, and I'm like level 38. So so it's like, yeah, come back later.
Yeah.
Which is all right. That means I didn't blow through the whole DLC like right away.
Before you find out who that power core belongs to. Comes in and smacks you down.
But anyways, yeah, and as expected, I started kind of owning the area that I was in. I was like, yeah, I got this now. Strutting around, collecting scrap and everything like that. Went to the next area and wham! It's like, no, sir. Good day. And yeah, that's basically what it came down to was as soon as you go into a new area in that game, it watch the fuck out, basically.
Yeah, it's like an old school game where they don't put up walls or
No.
doors.
You can wander right into something that will maul your face off.
And you'll know it when you get there.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
It's like, oh, look, it's death.
Because it's all of a sudden it jumps out of nowhere and it fucking one-swats you and that's it. And you're like, oh, okay, now I get to go all the way back there. And then take 2 minutes to run all the way back to my body just to collect the 1,000 scrap that I dropped.
Repeat 4 or 5 times.
And then worry about the thing crushing your head again when you get there.
Yep. So it looks like Tron is playing Fallout 76, so that's entertaining.
Yes.
Hey, Shadow, how you doing today?
Hey, Shadow, welcome to the chat. Glad to see you can make it at the start of the show today.
Yes, indeed. You actually get to see the whole thing.
Yeah, and Tron, maybe give us like a bullet point form of what you're thinking of 76 so far, because I want to hear some feedback, because I've heard a bunch of murmurs on on the internet so far, but I would like to get it from somebody who we kind of know a little bit better, and just get just some bullet points on what you think.
We got a section of some Fallout 76 related stuff too today.
I was expecting it. Basically, it's that cloud that's kind of looming.
That's Fallout. That is the actual literal Fallout.
It's the actual Fallout from the game.
It's probably not a good sign when your Fallout game actually causes nuclear fallout, because that's how bad people are reacting to this game, unfortunately.
But anyways, so that's basically what I've been playing right now. I'm really tempted to maybe just kind of play like a side game while I'm playing the Surge, just so I have some other shit going on, because the Surge is going to be such a fucking slogfest that...
Just for a second there, when you said it, it sounded like you said it like the French word, like Le Surge.
Le Surge.
It's
laugh. Le Surge.
I don't know if it was just like I heard it wrong or what. Le Surge. If you like Fallout, you'll like 76, says Tron. And
really? Is that just kind of like that's the box quote coming from you?
Metacritic would tend to disagree.
Yeah.
You know what? Right now, we are the highest score that has been given for Fallout 76, and we gave it a 70.
Really? PSU gave it the highest ranking.
Right now. And the guy who did the review is getting like death threats and shitty mail and stuff.
That's actually kind of interesting. I wonder if it's one of those situations where maybe it appeals to a European market a little more or something like that?
I do not think that's the case.
Okay, it's just, I like kind of like a little bit of feedback like that. Right. Sometimes it's like, why did this get a weird score over here and then like such a low score over here and stuff like that, just because there could be factors?
I mean, it's not like he gave it a glowing review. A 70 is like 3 out of 5. It's not fantastic.
I mean, a 70 is not something I would like put my wallet away for. It's like, if it's something I wanted to play, I would pick up a 70.
Right, but if I had a AAA game that I was like, banking on being awesome, and suddenly it got a 70 and that was the highest score it got, I'd probably want to see some more reviews.
If I saw like a 70, a 69, a 67, and a 65, I'd be okay with that. But if you see like a 70 and then there's like a 55 and a 50 and a 48 or something, then you got to kind of question where they're coming from on that.
At that point, we're in Iron Man territory.
Yeah, but you're so fucking worried about them anyways, so...
I'm not about that. It's just,
you're all about the scores, man. It's
like, I make up my own mind, otherwise I wouldn't have ever played Alpha Protocol, but usually it's a good indicator, like if you were expecting a certain experience and like globally people are coming back and saying, oh, these are the issues, and you're hearing the same story again and again, you gotta give it, gives you pause, right? You think about it a bit more, especially if you're like, you're on a fixed income or something. You can't buy every fucking game out there.
That's exactly it. So obviously when you're in that kind of situation, you really pick and choose what you're going to be buying at that time.
Alternately, if you have a backlog that's like 8 million miles long, that's also bad. All right. So other than Le Surge, anything else you doing?
No, nothing else much. There's just been a few indie games that I've been keeping an eye on. One of them especially because you've obviously played it before. On Super Nintendo, Contra 3, the Alien Wars.
Oh, yes.
So there is a...
Hard as fuck.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it depends on what rating you played on. If you played on easy, it's not that bad. But you don't get the real ending. You actually cut out 2 levels, I think, at the end, too, or something like that.
Drives me
nuts. That's the slap in the face. You're just like, oh, I came all this way and I get nothing.
It's like... How
dare you play easy?
Yeah, like all the people is like, oh, what did you think about Metroid when you found out that Samus was a woman? I was like, what? It's like, oh, you didn't finish it in under this time?
Yeah.
No, what are you talking? No, sorry.
Well, too bad.
Goes back all the way to 1985.
But no, it's one that's just recently started posting a whole bunch of footage of their game and screenshots, and so I started following them on Twitter. And it's a game that is heavily inspired by Alien Wars, but just completely modernized in its pixel art and its graphics and its effects and everything like that. And it's called Blazing Chrome, and it's just like a full-out balls-to-ball crazy version of like what Aliens. It's kind of like when you played Alien Wars as a kid, and you like what you thought it looked like. That's what this fucking game looks like now.
What's that one? See, when you said that, I thought back to the one that Devolver is bringing over, that Metal Wolf Chaos, or what the fuck it's called.
Oh yeah, that's the one where you're the president.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, it's Metal Wolf Chaos.
I saw that when I was watching the Devolver their presentation at E3. I'm like, oh, Dad's gonna love this.
Yes, I'm so excited because way back in the day, because that came out for the 360 in Japan, I think, and so it was almost impossible for anyone outside of there to play it.
Right.
Like it was hard to even import a version of it. So
Yeah.
So
right.
yeah, there was that, and just a quick note: there's a game that we have to fucking play.
Oh God, what?
On not Why Would You Play That, but on Doing Stuff Is Fun.
Which one?
It's a couch co-op.
Okay.
It's called Heavy Burger. I don't know if you've seen this, but Data East took all of their old school like Genesis licenses and stuff like that.
Data East is still a thing?
Well, no, like either that or somebody bought all of Data East stuff and then they put it in this game together. But it's called
Okay.
Heavy Burger, and it's a game that the gameplay is about fighting kind of against each other in a direction. So it's kind of like what's that sword fighting game where you try
Nidhogg.
to Nidhogg. So it's like Nidhogg.
How the fuck did I know that
So-
from just that description?
It's really one of the only
Yeah.
games where you try to fight in a direction
That's
back
true.
and forth like
That
that.
is true.
So it's akin to Nidhogg like that, but the gameplay itself is like Smash TV.
Yep.
But it has a bunch of Data East's licensing in it. So what you do is you start on the screen that looks almost exactly like Smash TV.
Right.
So you're this little squat, little Atari-looking guy, and you have a gun that shoots burgers. And there's a bunch of random Data East characters wandering around the screen that like attack you and stuff like that. But you're
Okay.
trying to fight each other at the same time, and you have to try to grab a money bag and kill the guy that's in your way and escape the side of the screen. And when you do that, the camera pans out and you're in an arcade cabinet, and it zooms to the next arcade cabinet, and then you're in a different game, like a different setup of a different Data East game, and you keep going through arcade games, fighting back and forth, trying to get
bizarre.
to the bank at the final thing, and it's in Bad Dudes. Yeah, so
Bizarre.
just completely
okay.
random, completely wild, something I didn't even know existed. I saw the Game Grumps play it, and I'm like, I need to fucking play this game. It's on the Switch, so we'll have to definitely check that one out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was just like mind-blowing to watch it, because I was just like, this is such a creative, unique, different game, like compared to anything we've seen recently.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll watch a trailer for it after. Maybe we can get a trailer posted in the chat for that one too, just so people can see it. Yeah, Janus Reen, yeah, he sounds like he's on board. So
Yeah. And what was the name of it?
it's called Heavy Burger.
Heavy Burger.
Yeah, because it has to do with burger time
Okay.
and heavy bullets, I think, or something like that. It was one of their other shooter games.
I'm not familiar with Data East's entire catalog. It's like
I wasn't
Bad
either. Like
Dudes and-
some of the games I saw, I've
Yeah.
never heard of, but then other ones I was like, yeah, I know Bad
I know
Dudes.
they did
Everyone
that
knows Bad Dudes.
RoboCop game. Didn't they do like Operation Wolf?
Yes, they did.
That
Yep.
was that
that was
Data
that was the Zapper game, right?
Yeah, with the Uzi that
Yeah.
had like the like back when that was not a thing, had like
Yeah.
the force feedback. I thought that was
Yeah, you had your burger time. But this goes so far beyond burger time, man. But we'll get you
Okay.
a trailer in the chat there just so you can check it out, because it is fucking spectacular. Okay, so what have you been playing?
fucking Red Dead. I mean,
You just stuck in that watering hole or what?
oh my god, I never thought I would be in a position where I would say, you know, I'm looking forward to not playing Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah.
Because it's to the point where I was like, yes, I've played the game. Now I'm writing guides for the game. Now I'm still writing guides for the game. Oh God, why am I still writing guides for the game?
Because it's such a gigantic
Right.
ass game.
I'm literally, I would rather start the game all over again from the beginning.
Yeah.
Than still write the rest of these guides, but I still have a fair number left to go. I'm trying to get done by this weekend because we're getting Darksiders 3 codes.
Oh, nice.
And I got to get that shit done.
Of course.
So my time is like, I have, I think, 20 more missions to write guides for, and each one takes me anywhere from like half an hour to an hour.
The
Capturing-
the crunch is real.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So, I mean, having a full-time job on top of that, it's not great.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I got a lot of stuff to do. But, yeah, so I haven't done much in other than Red Dead. Red Dead continues to be awesome.
So yeah, exactly. So it's still an awesome game.
Yes.
You've thoroughly experienced it by this point.
Oh, yes.
Have you seen any kind of fun, weird glitches or any situations that you didn't know existed in the game before that you've come across just playing this long?
I haven't, like, the sad part about it is that it really has the density of, like, a Fallout game now.
Yeah.
So there's a crap ton of stuff that I never saw. So I went and I actually got the official guides, right? And really the only thing the official guides are good for these days are the maps. And I love maps. Like going all the way back to like the...
And if they have a list of all the
Right.
weapons or all the items in the game with nice
Exactly.
pictures and everything.
Like we have that now basically anyway, but like the maps and it's like, okay, this is here, la la la, all the things you can pick up. There's random collectibles, there's random little encounters. There's like stuff that's not attached to anything else that's just fucking weird.
yeah.
There is a crashed
UFO.
pedal bike. No, actually, maybe there is a whole UFO thing.
I mean, they did it in Grand Theft Auto, so
but it's the same thing. It's like the Mount Chiliad thing. Like there's a place where you go into a cabin and lights come down from above, and if you go out, you'll just see a UFO go away. Apparently.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's one of those
like really random things.
Yeah. Apparently, that weird-looking Abraham Lincoln guy with the mustache, the stranger, he's back in this one.
Oh, okay.
Never saw him. And I did all those missions, so who the hell knows? But yeah, like all kinds of weird stuff. There's like there's a witch's brew, there's a cauldron that you drink, and you wake up somewhere else.
Really?
Yes.
So it's like a teleportation item, but you wake up random somewhere else.
As long as I still have my pants on. I mean, I don't know what to think. Like, is this Bill Cosby's shack? Like, what the hell happened? But yeah, so there's a bunch of stuff in it. Like, if you look at the maps and look at just the sheer density of items to find and areas to explore, it's crazy. I've like only barely scratched the surface, and I played the game for hundreds of hours at this point. So,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I have to start again, and I will enjoy it all that time. So it's pretty
there's
crazy.
a shack in the swamp you should not go in.
Is that the one with the pig farmers and has like the whole there's a bit that it's like Harold and Kumar where it's like Freak Show and his wife.
Really?
It really evokes that kind of. They're sitting down at the table and she's like making eyes at you and he's kind of there urging her along and they're offering you a drink and I'm like, well, I gotta go.
Yep, time to go.
Not the pig farmers. Okay, so other swamp shacks. Like there's just a ton of things. And yes, I will take that quote. I do love maps. Like a well-drawn map. Like going back to Ultima. Like Ultima 4, Ultima 3, they had cloth maps with everything on it. It was beautiful, you know? You don't get shit like that. You don't get instructions now.
I think they had that for
Might and Magic, they did.
Oblivion or something like that.
I mean, maybe the collector's edition.
There was a collector's edition that had it, I think.
But like Ultima's going back to, I mean, Jesus,
that's way back,
80, I don't even know how far back
Tron's
that
saying
goes.
it's the overly friendly swamp guy.
Overly friendly swamp
Does he
guy.
start like touching on you if you're near him?
Tron with the hard sell. Fallout 76 has maps.
Boy, howdy, does it ever have maps?
Like
You like maps, you gotta get this game.
I'm perfectly willing to stick a toe in once they have private servers.
Yeah.
Or at least, you know.
I mean, that was the key factor.
That's a big
back
one.
when we saw it at E3,
Yeah.
it was about private servers for us anyways,
That's
the
a
way
big
we
one,
play.
You know, and when they have a little bit more content. Because I think right now they have the framework. It's like the Destiny sort of package. They need to sort of flesh it out a bit more.
They needed a little more, I think. And Maim Kill, I know it sucks, but just wait like a week. It'll be on sale again. That game is constantly on fucking sale.
Especially like coming up, like the Division. Like they had that for PC. I don't even know
Yeah, for PC. And Janus Marine, Alien Colonial Marines had zero everything. It
Yeah.
had zero fun. It had zero graphics. It had zero maps.
And coincidentally, didn't enjoy it.
Didn't have throwing knives either.
Did not have throwing knives. Throwing knives would have made that game immeasurably better.
Oh, Damnation had too much map. That was the problem with that game.
You know, and that's just it. Haze, like the throwing knives, greatly improved my enjoyment of that game at the time. It's still not a great game.
Yeah.
But I was having fun, not liking the game at the time. So, however you want to parse that. Anyway, so since I didn't say it at the top because we were busy trying to get the chat up so we could talk to people.
It was loading, so
Yes. This is Digital Fiasco, episode 48. This is for November the 19th, 2018. We are going to talk about all the latest news in PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, and PC gaming. And we are going to talk first about what our picks are for the Triple D.
Yeah, absolutely.
And traditionally, Dan's got his list, and he's going to pick out what he thinks are the worthwhile things.
Yeah, and believe me, it's a little slim this week, as you saw too.
Everyone was trying to rush in to get in there before Red Dead, and it's like, you know, this week is Black Friday, right?
Yes.
If you're not out by Black Friday,
yeah, and that's kind of it. It's yeah, if you can't do Black Friday, don't bother till next year. Thanks for coming.
I mean,
unless
Nordic.
it's something that you're expecting to sell like at Christmas or something like that. Yeah. There's no real point.
When is American Thanksgiving?
It's this coming Friday.
Is that the actual day, or is that the?
I'm almost certain it's this coming Friday.
Tron, help me out.
All right. While they're arguing about when Thanksgiving is, Beat Saber is coming out for PS
It is.
VR, which is
It
fucking
is.
awesome.
I've
that
seen
game,
some very cool footage of that.
yeah. So I'm glad that that's actually spreading out past like PC VR because
I don't know if
that's a great fucking game. If you
think
want to
it-
work out and you like listening to
Yeah.
music, it's win-win.
I think we had one of our PSU guys doing a review.
Oh
of that,
yeah,
I
nice.
think.
Another one that's finally getting its full release is Bendy and the Ink Machine. If you like yourself a horror game,
You know, I didn't write that one down. What the hell is that one about?
so this one I've seen some Let's Plays of it. Basically, this is a very, very stylized kind of spook house kind of situation. So when you're going through it, you're kind of experiencing the story, and it's one of those ones where like when the monster comes at you, you run and hide.
Gotcha.
You don't get to like attack it with anything.
Like Outlast.
So yeah, kind of like Outlast or Amnesia or whatever, but it's highly, highly stylized. Everything's in like a sepia tone, and you're in this like old kind of like Disney animation studio, but it's not Disney. It's just very akin to Disney.
Dorsney.
So, like this is Bendy. If you'll see the picture
Yeah.
of him, so that's like their
Yeah.
Mickey Mouse character.
It's Brisbane Land.
And they have like a fake like goofy character and everything, but it's a horror story throughout,
Yep.
and it's I don't know, it's a really fucking cool game. If you like horror games, check that one out. We also have the lovely Farming Simulator 19. I know that you're really excited for that one, but try to keep your pants on.
Let me just sum it up. We had our reviewer. Who
Did we
played the
have?
game.
Did PSU have a reviewer for Farming Simulator?
Yes. After they rated last year's 4 out of 10, they came back and gave him another code. They had another go at it. I don't know what it was rated at, but the tagline was going to be EI no. And I thought that was fucking brilliant.
Can we post that? Can we post that in the chat?
Sure.
Okay.
Go
all right.
for it.
I already posted a review.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Farming. What was the score they gave it? Because it's unfortunate because I did try to play the Microsoft one year, but does it Battle Royale? 6 out of 10. I mean, that's better.
Farming Simulator Battle Royale. This
Right?
is like a demo derby with fucking tractors.
Yep. Yep.
Of course, one of the big ones, if you're still playing Spider-Man or you've been waiting for more DLC,
Yes.
comes out tomorrow. So yeah, we have Turf Wars coming out tomorrow.
Turf
for
Wars.
Spider-Man PS4.
Part 2, The City That Never Sleeps.
Yeah, so some fresh new costumes, some
this
new
one's
content.
Hammerhead, right?
Yes, this is
Yeah.
Hammerhead. So you're dealing with kind of the gangs on the streets and stuff like that.
Have they told us what the new suits are yet?
I know one of them, and it's a really weird cartoony one. I think it's from one of the newer cell shaded like CG cartoons.
Okay.
Because he looks like
Into the Spider-Verse?
He looks like a teenager.
Okay.
And he's wearing like a hoodie with like wrapped hands, and he's got like sneakers on and stuff. It's really fucking weird.
That actually
looking.
might be from Into the Spider-Verse, like the new one that's coming out.
It's
at
very
Christmas.
much that style, but I
Yeah.
think it was a bit older than that or something. I can't
know.
remember which one it was, but it looked kind of neat.
We'll have to ask Kelly and Albel.
But
Actually,
I know they have the other ones. I just didn't see it. And no, we did not. There's no symbiote yet. There's still one more DLC to come out.
Yep.
So
They've got till December,
yep, they have till December or Jack rages.
and then it's going to be table flip time.
Let's see what else was there. There was Flashback.
Oh yes.
So, and this is not the HD remaster.
No.
This
it
is the classic.
Yes.
Like this is the classic
Yes.
just put onto the new
Correct.
system. So I'm super excited for
I'm
that
sure
one.
they're gonna probably slap some filters on it.
They'll
like,
clean it up
you
a
know,
little like they did with Mega Man
Right.
and stuff like that, but it'll still be very much the original, unlike the
Right.
HD remaster that they did where they just kind of fucked everything up. So,
Yep.
and of course, the big one this week, Battlefield 5 is finally coming out.
Yeah, I guess it's pretty big.
Yeah, so that's I mean that's the whole thing is it's kind of gotten a bad rap this year.
kind of.
with it getting pushed back
Right.
and it's kind of questionable gameplay and stuff like
Right.
that. But hey, if you're still looking forward to it, here it comes.
Hey, people who bought the Ultimate Edition, they were playing it last week.
Yeah, those
So.
bastards.
I really hate this tiered approach that EA has been doing lately.
It is fucking terrible.
Yep.
It really is.
I really, I don't know what to think, man.
Hey, Mame Kill, I do have a phone. It's right here. Thank you for asking.
Yeah.
Oh, and Mame Kill, believe me, they should just make those cars from Cyberpunk. They would sell hundreds of thousands of them.
I mean, that goes all the way back to the original Syndicate, actually.
Yeah,
It was
like they just have
that same design.
a lot
actually.
of Cyberpunk,
Yeah.
style universes. They just have such cool fucking vehicles. Like
Correct.
Ghost in the Shell, same thing. Like,
Yep.
oh, just so many cool fucking vehicles.
Can
Either that,
confirm.
or you could literally just get a black Testarossa and rip the back bumper off of it and slap some giant tires on it, and you basically have the same car.
I'm holding out for flying cars.
Well, you're going to be holding for a while.
My robot maids, goddammit. All right, a couple other ones we wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
Sunset Overdrive we were talking about for the longest
Oh,
time.
that's right. Yes.
Actually showed up last Friday, came out on PC. It's only like $20. You can go out on Steam, buy it now.
I
for
think
$20.
that's the smart approach, just because it has been around for so long that if they want to catch some new players, they're going to have to have it at a discounted price.
Yeah, but it looks like it's still being published by Microsoft, so people asking about a PS4 version, not so much probably.
They probably made that, like Microsoft owned that from the ground up, so it's not really going anywhere.
I mean, possibly there is some long-term thing, because when you think about it, the original Mass Effect was published by Microsoft.
I guess, yeah, that's fair.
And that was like before it was on PC.
It might have been one of those
EA took it
situations
over.
where BioWare was making it, and
Right.
Microsoft came in and said, hey, we want to put that on our system.
Well,
whereas Sunset Overdrive, I think
right.
they went to Insomniac or whatever, and they said, here's money, make us a fucking game.
Yeah, it's tough to see. I mean, without seeing the actual contract, we're never going to know. But long story short.
Robot Maids, Mr. Butlertron, or GTFO.
I have no idea. Possibly. I can't tell.
It looks like he posted a picture of the car there.
Oh, the thing?
If it looks like a black Testarossa, like a Ferrari Testarossa, that would be the one.
Yep. All right. So, other things coming out. There's one actually that's coming out tomorrow called Achtung Cthulhu Tactics.
I was looking at that. I didn't get a chance to see the trailer though. Did you get to like see any of it?
I actually had a chance to review it, but I was still up to my tits in fucking Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah.
So I really wanted to, though. It looks cool. It is a tactical strategy game where I believe you are like it's in the Second World War. I think it's based on.
So is it like Nazis versus like Cthulhian horrors?
I mean, I
or-
think it's just like that's the era.
Oh, okay.
I believe that it's based on a board game. I
like
don't
it
know
very
for sure.
much looks like it. Even
Yeah.
the cover art looks like minifigs. Like they're just solid colors and
But
everything.
I'm definitely looking forward to that. I want to get that one going. Warframe's coming out for the Switch on the 20th, finally.
Oh, awesome!
So that'll be good.
I want
for
to see how
people.
that's actually going to run on the Switch, because that's a pretty graphically intense game.
Yeah.
So I want to see what
I'm
they.
sure they've scaled it,
I mean, obviously,
Yeah.
they did it with Doom and,
Yeah.
and a couple other ones like Wolfenstein and everything.
and I'm sure it. Yeah, I mean, who knows what kind of special sauce they have
Yeah.
under the hood. Party Hard comes to the Switch on the 22nd.
Such a good fucking
It
game.
is a
Switch
good game.
owners, get Party Hard.
Yeah.
It is so good.
That's an entertaining one. I had a lot of fun with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
All
actually,
right.
Party Hard 2 is coming out
Very soon, isn't it?
very soon. Like, I think it's actually in December.
I don't know. Sign us up for a code for it. We'll see what happens. All right. And that is it for our picks for this week. Check out psu.com for other releases this week. I think not much else in the immediate future other than, Darksiders.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of one of, again, we had talked about it. We're heading into the Christmas season.
Right, next week.
Obviously,
Ish.
releases are winding down. You have your Black Friday sales and everything. And then after that, it's...
Just Cause, I think, is the only other one.
Rake in all those discounts on the sweet games.
Just Cause is out first week of December. I can't think of any other big ones, really.
Yeah, that's got to be the last one of the year, I think.
All right, let us get to some news. He partied hard once. It was terrible, says Make Kill Destroy. Wow.
Were you partying with Andrew WK? Because that might have been the issue. That man likes to party hard.
He does party quite hard. All right, so Square. We were talking about Square Enix last week.
Yes,
and
I
how-
think we talk about Square once a week, every week.
but last week in particular, they had what you would call a pretty bad week.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Not so great. So this week, Square is like out of the blue, like, oh shit, you remember we're doing this Avengers project? So hey, we're going to talk about the Avengers project. They updated their website, and it's like, oh, look, Avengers.
Yeah.
Please, investors, don't hate us.
Look, Marvel, that
Right.
makes money.
So they've been shunting resources into this Avengers project for, like, since April of this year, I think it is.
I was going to say, doesn't it go back
Actually,
further
no,
than
January.
that?
January, I think, is when they first put up the site. It was, like, just after...
But
Shit,
it-
2017?
Yeah, like they had announced it like long before that too. Like we've been waiting a
Yeah.
couple years for them to make a fucking Marvel game.
When was Mankind Divided out?
Oh, that was like early last year. Like last year, like 2017, like February, I think.
Yeah, but it was like right around that time because it's like Mankind Divided and Tomb Raider, I guess.
And then they announced that they were
yeah.
making a Marvel game or
But
something.
it's like they didn't quite meet their targets, and suddenly it's like, oh, we're going to put those on the shelf for a
Yeah.
while. Hey, look, Marvel. And then we haven't heard anything about it since. So they released this new announcement. They say it's an announcement coming out. Marvel Entertainment and Square Enix have announced new multi-year, multi-game licensing agreements. It's like exactly the same fucking statement, basically.
They literally said the same thing.
Yeah. Being crafted by Crystal Dynamics developers of the award-winning Tomb Raider series in collaboration with Eidos Montreal, home of the critically acclaimed and award-winning Deus Ex game series. So read, we are pillaging their resources. Don't expect those games anytime soon.
I mean, to be fair, they actually said don't expect those games anytime soon anyways.
Well,
even before the Marvel thing.
It's unfortunate because I really...
and Jay Tanuki actually said that Party Hard 2 came out on October 25th, so it actually just came out.
We're waiting for it here on console, but yeah, it's already out for PC owners on Steam. That always happens.
Get on that tiny build.
So the Avengers project is being designed for gamers worldwide. Will be packed with all the characters, environments, and iconic moments that have thrilled longtime fans of the franchise. Featuring a completely original story, it will introduce a universe gamers can play in for years to come. And yeah, it was January 2017. They had their CG announced.
Oh, that worries me.
Yeah, for 2 years, right? Meanwhile, they've gutted Eidos. They've gutted Crystal Dynamics.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know, like, Shadow of the Tomb Raider wasn't that well received. It was average, but not,
I mean, it was basically, if you were really, really hype on that game,
Yep.
you enjoyed it, but outside of that, it wasn't one of those ones where everybody just dove in and they fucking bought it.
Yeah, they shucked IO Interactive. Now they're making Hitman themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, they basically said, we're going to take Hitman, you can keep everything else, go off, and IO said, we're going to go and do our own thing. They bought themselves out, essentially. So they got that money, and then, of course, they had $30 billion US, or $30 billion US, $30 million
I was going to say, wow, that's a lot of fucking money.
Square's making a lot of money these days. So $30 million US they lost strictly on Luminous Studios, right?
Yeah.
So, like, a lot is riding right now on this Avengers project and Kingdom Hearts.
You know what?
obviously.
Honestly, yeah. Okay, so Kingdom Hearts 3 is already in the barrel. It's ready to just fucking bring in the cash, hand over fist.
I mean,
so,
that's what they said about Final Fantasy 15, though.
yeah, but that one was
I'm
fucked
just
up
saying,
from the start.
Jay Tanuki's giving me the stink eye,
Yeah.
but I mean, everyone was talking about Final Fantasy. I'm just
That one, because every time they fucking showed Final Fantasy, you always had that kind of hemming and hawing from people. Either people were like totally on board, or they're like, this changed so much, I don't really know about this anymore.
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts 3 is one of those ones that
I hope so.
has stayed solid the whole time. Any single time there's ever been any scrap of news about it,
Right.
people are like piranhas on that, and they're just like eating it up. So they've got that in the barrel, which is perfect. That's what they need. They're gonna need that big injection of money there. And if it was anything they were gonna fucking bank on,
Thank you, Ruru,
oh,
too.
Ruru too. Thank
Welcome
you
to
very
the
much
chat,
for
buddy.
that. Welcome, yeah. I
got nothing. I guess you get the Reading Rainbow sound. I still don't have any positive noises on the chat. So
That's about the most positive one.
it is. I like Reading Rainbow. Everyone likes
But
that.
outside of Kingdom Hearts, they're going to need that injection of money. But if they were going to bank on anything, it will be a Marvel game. Like, that is going to be...
Well, they're supposed to have multiple studios doing it too. Like,
exactly.
Multiple projects simultaneously.
But that's definitely the way to go. Because I mean, if they were banking on either a new IP or like another Final Fantasy or something like that, that's where you're kind of like, oh, I don't know if this is gonna work.
Yeah.
But we haven't had a solid Marvel game in fucking years, and the fact that this is not only a Marvel game when Marvel is like the hottest thing right now, it's also based on the Avengers. So there are going to be people that are just going to dive in and buy this just because it's an Avengers game.
Was it? Who made the X-Men Origins Wolverine game? Was that Raven?
That was fuck, I can't remember who made that one now.
I could check the library, but I don't want to leave. I think it was Raven.
I'll find it for you.
Doesn't matter.
I think it was.
That was I think that was the last X-Men, like the solid X-Men title that I played.
That was basically it.
Yeah.
Because it's really unfortunate. Because
hey, the game was excellent, Mame Kill. You don't know, buddy. You don't know. Xbox owner, he doesn't know. Actually, that was on Xbox too. I don't know what he's talking about.
The game was amazing. The movie sucked.
So apparently there might be a reveal, like a next reveal at the Game Awards. So we might see something there. But at this point, like, Square's got all its eggs in one basket. So if if anything, like God forbid anything happens to Kingdom Hearts, if that doesn't do like gangbusters.
I mean, that again, that's yes, it was Raven Software that did Wolverine
There we go,
Origins.
Raven, yeah.
But yeah, that's like again, if it was anything they had that was going to fucking save them in this in these dark times, it's going to be Kingdom Hearts 3.
Dark times. The children of my village sing songs.
There
at
are
those
literally
times.
still people buying the previous versions of it in various disc allotments and everything like that too. So
Well, I guarantee you that more people played that game than saw that movie.
oh no, I mean the like Kingdom Hearts, because they keep releasing like the different variations of it, and now they have like the story so far, which is everything on one disc.
I was definitely going to look at that, actually, importing it from the States.
I think it's absolutely worth it.
You can buy it off of Amazon.
For your own gaming knowledge, basically. Just at least playing the core titles.
Yeah, so it'd be like, oh, I've got that now on the pile, right? Like, I've got like 3 Yakuza games sitting there that I have to play through, for Christ's sakes. All right.
I can't wait to hear what the game is actually going to be. What the Avengers game is going to be, because again, I love the movies. I love a lot of the characters, but they said it's all original, so we're going to see some new voice talent. Yep. We're going to see some new costumes, a new universe and stuff like that.
We shall see.
Really interested.
Hopefully. All right. So EA. We heard when they were making Battlefield 5, there was a lot of people concerned that their grasp of history not so great with women on the battlefield, and obviously they were kind of, it's a bad faith argument they were going into, but there's a lot of talk about, how well do you know history? And unfortunately, there was a event in Stockholm, Sweden, with Battlefield 5 producer David Sirlund. He was asked about the possibility of a USSR faction being in the game, right?
Oh, okay.
And I mean, you think about like the original Call of Duty, right? The whole battle for Stalingrad. There's a major part. There's a whole campaign based on. Yeah. So problem is, his response. I don't know if he just phrased it poorly, but did not come across properly.
Okay.
So he says Russia will be represented at least as military equipment. He then went on to explain there's a small problem with the USSR since it switched sides at least once.
Wait, what?
And I'm like, pardon? What kind of tomfuckery is this?
Unless you're talking sides of the bed, they didn't.
No. So, I mean, I'm not a history buff. Pretty sure that didn't happen. So, anyway, shockingly enough, some people in Russia, a little upset to be lumped in with the Axis powers. So yeah, hundreds of Russian gamers were like tweeting out, was apologize for USSR, hashtag apologize for USSR. So anyway, he's tried to explain it later. He said, the Soviet Union deserves to have its own faction since it greatly influenced the war. Then went on to say his words were supposed to be a big compliment to those wanting to see the USSR in game. That it would be an extreme simplification to have the USSR as on the Allies' side.
Yeah.
So whatever he was trying to say, I don't know if he was like trying to say it in Russian and he fucked up, but he did not say... I mean, maybe this is just him fucking up and trying to cover it.
Yeah.
But... wow. Anyway, yeah. It was in all the history books, Oh, man. Obviously.
Fake history.
Fake history, yeah. Obviously, that's been scrubbed into the ones I saw. Because Jesus Christ. So, yeah, I don't know what he was going for originally, but kind of screwed the pooch on that one.
Is EA going to apologize by just whipping up a whole USSR faction to put in there now? Like,
I bet you there's a talk going on in a room somewhere now.
Like, all right, pull that reserve bank. We gotta animate. We gotta model. We gotta get that shit in the game.
Oh my god! But I mean, I don't know how they would do it. It'd be pointless to do because effectively it's just going to be, unless it'd be Allies versus Axis anyway, it would still be all on the same size. Having a separate faction, you're not going to have USSR versus America or the Allied powers.
They'll just replace one of the sides and throw them in there, and they'll just fucking fight it out. I mean, they're just shooting each other with guns. They're not. We've already seen that they've blown past the accuracy meter on this. They don't fucking care.
Okay, but when we're starting to revise history, I could see artificial limbs being a little bit anachronistic. When you're talking about we're gonna fight the USSR.
I don't know. All I know is that a lot of the past games and stuff like that, you dive in, it's like it's not really a super realistic representation of war. So if they just want to have some fun with it, fucking go.
Wow. Okay. But I mean, yeah, but realistic, it's not like it's Star Wars where they're fighting Empire versus battle droids or some bullshit. You know? This is actual historical shit. So I don't know. it rubs me a little the wrong way. I mean, but fuck Russia. I'm kidding. But anyway.
You're supposed to say withdrawn.
Withdrawn, yes.
There you go. Now it's official.
Withdrawn. Yeah, obviously we have some issues with the people in power, but I mean, fuck, what country doesn't? Anyway, all right, so EA has another alternate history, completely separate from Russia and Battlefield 5. Yes, we were talking about Command & Conquer, right? And we were talking about the possibility they're going to do, because obviously Command & Conquer Rivals didn't get the response they were expecting.
All fucking over my Instagram and my Facebook and stuff. It's like, get out of here. I'm not playing your game.
Hey, it's Commander Santa.
Hey, Commander Santa. Welcome to the chat.
It's an egregious violation of history. See, now you're saying it more than we are.
Oh, he just likes rubbing in, just like you like to pun before Albel does.
It's true, but it's not like that is a trademark thing I do. It just seemed to be a...
pretty much is. I like every time I watch the show, you're always punning before Albel ever gets to it.
Oh no, I mean the use of egregious.
Oh, okay.
That absolutely, 100%. I'm like, it's like premature. I'm like taking the wind out of his sails.
You're just like sitting there waiting for it. You're like, pun.
It's the pun equivalent of a sucker punch.
Yeah.
I have more than one pre-punned. It's kind of like, you know, when you have a bomb and you dispose of a bomb by blowing it up with another bomb. Kind of the same thing. It's like fighting fire with fire. It's like a firewall to stop the fire. Anyway, so EA's alternate history. Command & Conquer Rivals, everyone was kind of like, you know?
Yeah.
So, of course, after that backlash at E3, they went away and they came back for their 20th anniversary, which is coming up, I believe, year after next year or the year after next. I don't remember which. But they have confirmed now that they're doing a actual remaster of Command & Conquer, and we've actually got some details about what it is they're doing. So the producer, Jim Vasella, he's confirmed what the remaster program is going to be the first. The way it's phrased, it sounds like the first of many.
Okay.
At least for Command & Conquer.
Right.
He says it will begin with Command & Conquer Tiberian Dawn, which was the subtitle from the original game.
Okay.
Command & Conquer Red Alert, and it will also include expansion packs, Covert Ops, Counter-Strike, and Aftermath. They'll be bundled into a single remastered collection with no microtransactions.
That's awesome.
Yes.
That's the fucking way it should be. Hey, guess what? Here's money.
Yes.
You give me a game. I play all of the game.
Yes.
All of the content. It is on the disc. That is it. We are done our transaction.
Yes.
So shock and awe from EA on that one, but thank you very much for that, because I look forward to more transactions like that in the future.
I don't even know how you would apply microtransactions
Oh,
to
they
that.
would find a fucking way, my friend.
I mean,
They could easily
don't
sell
even
you
know
a
how.
remaster and sell you the DLC.
okay, yeah, they could do that. That would be one thing. But I mean, I'm talking about in the terms of like microtransactions. Like, I mean, different color schemes.
They
for your
could be total
buildings.
dicks about it and make it like a smartphone game where you have energy and you can only play so many times per day and stuff like that.
That's why they have Command & Conquer Rivals.
I mean, that's true.
Horse armor.
And see, if they had done this the first time round, they just would not have gotten nearly as much flack. If they came out at E3 and said, hey, we're remastering some of your favorite games. Here's the first on our list.
Yeah.
Command & Conquer, all the DLC or all the packs added on. Here's what it looks like. Oh, and we also have this Command & Conquer game for you to enjoy when you're on mobile.
Well, to be fair...
That's how you fucking advertise a mobile game.
To be fair, though, their last Command & Conquer game, Command & Conquer 4...
Yeah.
Not so good either.
I'm not saying every fucking game was the best ever.
I know, but like it was a distinct misstep as well. So.
Yeah, but they have many awesome titles in that series.
Yes.
So they've got a long way to go and lots of stuff to remaster. So
Yep.
And I look forward to people actually buying into that. So EA says, "Oh, people like remasters, and we get our Mass Effect remaster on one disc."
Yes, finally. I really hope that they kept the original film from the full motion videos and stuff.
Oh, I sure hope so. That was the best part of it. It was so fucking campy.
Because I think it was the original game director, like who played Kane. Like one of them was.
It was.
You know?
Yep.
And he was in all the fucking games.
Yep. Absolutely.
He's even in Rivals. CG. Terrible. All right. Cliff Bleszinski.
What about him? He's been pretty quiet recently.
He's after Boss Key Studios kind of imploded.
Yeah.
He's been relatively low key. Like I see him talking on Twitter, and he's basically, like he said, he's stepped away from the scene. He is spending time with family. He is just unwinding and relaxing.
Yeah.
Obviously he has had a high profile career. You got Gears, you got Bulletstorm, you got Lawbreakers and Radical Heights, which both kind of.
Well,
part of the
Radical
same
Heights
thing.
was like an alpha at best.
No, it was final, but it was like it came out and then it like died immediately. So it was like
It wasn't done. Like they pushed that out the fucking airplane without a parachute.
Yeah. So anyway, long story short, on Twitter, there was a Twitter user named Heights Joshua. Obviously, maybe he was a fan of Radical Heights. He posted a tweet to him that said, you won't refund players who stuck with you and spend money for you all to keep up the content. Cliff, I looked up to you during the Gears of War days and sad to see where you're at. Wish you'd come back. Now all that money is wasted. So Cliff was pissed.
Did he just go like from 0 to 100?
Kind of, yes. So it's like, so he's like talking about this, you know, he basically tore the guy a strip.
Okay.
Said, I paid my employees their 401ks, their health care, even months after the studio folded so they could care for their families, and I didn't take a salary myself for 2 years. I get you're sad, but God, this kind of shit is another reason I am never making another game. Literally never making another game. Now, I mean, granted, he might change his mind eventually, but that, to even say that, that's pretty shocking.
Yeah, I have a feeling it's going to be one of those things. He's going to cool off for like a few years.
Maybe.
You know, do the tour and stuff like that, and then come back and he'll be like, okay, I'm making another game, but it's going to be like, it's not going to be another fucking Gears. It's not going to be another Bulletstorm. It's not going to be these big, flashy AAA titles. He's probably going to open up his own like kind of indie-style company, you know, little team, and make something fun and genuine. And I really hope that that's the way it goes.
Effectively, that's kind of what he tried to do with People Can Fly to do Bulletstorm. I mean, Bulletstorm and the Bulletstorm Full Clip Edition were both great games.
Yeah,
but they
again,
weren't Gears.
They weren't Gears.
Yeah.
And they were also, again, they were up in that atmosphere of this is like some AAA shiny stuff, like big money and whatnot. So I'd like to see him just make something a little more low key, something a little more, you know, unique. But I don't know, maybe he just doesn't do that. Like that might not be his thing.
Got a bunch of Command and Conquer quoting going on in the chat room.
Yeah, I'm not
God
surprised.
to Cain to Seth, I remember that. All I'm saying is we didn't have this problem when Discount wasn't in the studio.
Oh, give it a break. Anyways, welcome back.
Yes.
We just had a little technical hiccup there.
Hiccup.
Yeah, so we were talking about there was a Gears of War movie.
Yes.
Blah 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 stuff like that. Oh, and the Metal Gear Solid movie, which which is actually moving forward.
That's
not
things,
development hell. So I guess we'll intermission.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Welcome back.
So Cliffy B,
if you
maybe not making games anymore.
Well, I mean, for this foreseeable future, he's not. He's really sick of the toxic fanboyism, and I mean, if there's anyone who's been immersed in it for years, it'd be Cliffy B. Like,
yeah, obviously.
Between Gears and then Bulletstorm not being Gears, and then Lawbreakers just not being Overwatch or.
He seemed
Battleborn.
Basically. So Bulletstorm wasn't Gears, and then every game thereafter he was late to the front with his game where someone else already had the same thing.
I haven't seen the sales numbers, but I really hope, especially now, like last month, people who got PS Plus, or is it this month? I think it's this month. People got Bulletstorm Full Clip Edition for free.
Yes. Yeah.
Everybody should play that game if you like any kind of action game, like. One of the Staves and I actually went all the way through that game.
Yeah, because they have a co-op part of it too.
A lot of fun. That was a good game. Plus, any game that has the phrase "son of a dick" in it.
Yeah, I mean, just some of like the ridiculous language of how they got around not actually swearing in it.
I mean, they could have.
That was kind of genius, though. Yeah. Like they came up with some very creative lines because of that.
They could have, but I think it was just like they went with the joke. I don't know.
Oh, and congratulations, Necro.
Hey, Necro, how you doing?
So he got called in for an interview for a game dev internship.
Beautiful.
Whereabouts is that, or are you allowed to say? It might be under NDA.
Might be NDA, yeah. You never know.
Either way, if you can tell us, let us know, because that's fucking awesome. Good job. I mean, that would definitely one of my dream jobs at some point. So
definitely. Yep. And always remember your friends over here at Digital Fiasco when interview time comes out.
Yep.
When he rises to power and overthrows whoever's at the top of that particular pyramid.
He'll be president of video game.
Exactly. He'll be like Kevin Butler. He'd be like vice president in charge of sharp objects. All right.
Oh, it's currently through a recruiter, so he doesn't know the specific company yet. So, yeah, let us know when you're allowed to tell us, because we'd love to know.
Cool. Well, good luck, Necro.
Make sure you're prepared for that one.
Yeah, we're pulling for you. Yeah, if you want us to send you a reference,
If it helps.
I'm not sure that would.
Yeah, exactly. Who are
Jack
these assholes?
McWho? Yeah. All right. So, Fallout.
Yeah. You gonna talk about that one?
People do not like Fallout.
Okay, so what's do you have like the spread on this? Like, because we've seen the Metacritic and everything like that.
Well,
but-
I mean, people review bombed it first of all. So
yeah. See, I
that's
want like
yeah.
accurate scores.
Well,
that's
that's just
the whole
it,
deal.
right? People review bombed it, and it was like, okay, yeah, some fanboys like they downvote the Call of Duty Infinite Warfare trailer.
Well, because there's literally people who,
Yeah.
you know, they're watching Fallout 76 and they're
Right.
like, oh yeah, this is fucking awesome, and all of a sudden they announce something that they don't like. They're like, oh
Yeah.
fuck this, and they give it thumbs down and bad reviews every chance
Yeah.
they get,
That's
just
like-
because
that's people.
one thing happened.
well,
so
this is
it-
a little more than one thing, but yeah.
no, but there are some people that are that petty though.
So the reviews from the critics aren't much better.
Okay.
Right now on Metacritic, it sits at 46.
Ooh.
Yes. Once again, PSU has the highest score at 70.
See, and that's what I was talking
Yeah.
about at the top of the show. That's that discrepancy there. So if you have like a 70, 69, 68, that's, you know, that's pretty accurate in that range. When you have a 70
Yeah.
and then a 48, there that's a huge
Well,
gap
I mean, there's
there.
a lot below 48 too to make up that average. I think the next one down is like 60 something, but it's like a lot of people are not happy with it because basically your typical Fallout experience is like a game and a half, right? Because there's a lot of material, there's a lot to explore.
Yep.
This just feels barren to people. I mean, when you go in expecting a Fallout experience, obviously being a player-driven economy and quest system and everything else, it's largely emergent versus Fallout, which like everything is like shoveled in your direction.
Yeah.
So-
this is the like video game equivalent of a bunch of kids in the park with Nerf guns shooting at each other. Like,
Well, I mean,
make your own economy. Go make your own characters. Have fun, kids.
it's not quite that bad, but I mean, at its core, you have a co-op Fallout experience with some PvE stuff, but also there is an element of PvP in it as well. So, I mean, the core is there. It just needs a little bit more, I think. And right now, it's going to be like No Man's Sky, right?
I was literally going to say, is this like
Right.
a No Man's Sky situation where a year from now we're going to be like, hey,
Probably.
go out and buy Fallout 76 because it's good now.
Well, I mean, think about Destiny. Like the original Destiny, when it first came out, people were like, oh, this is so bare bones. Where are all the extra
Yeah,
quests?
yeah.
I'm doing the same shit over and over again. And it really took a couple of DLCs, like really to the Taken King, before it went, oh, hey.
They added the
you know,
content,
right?
they refined the controls and
Exactly.
the menus and stuff, and really, really made it the game that it is.
Randomness of the perk cards. I'd be interesting to see that, you know, like just
Well,
exactly.
because that's typically one of those things that you're always
Yeah.
worried about when they announce a game like this. It's
Right.
just like, okay, is there going to be grieving? Is there going to be like, is that where they're going to get all your money from? Is
Yep.
it going to be pay to win? Like all that kind of stuff. So yeah,
Right. I don't know about that. But anyway, there are apparently some distinctly legitimate issues that need to be addressed.
Okay.
So first of all, the good thing about the game was originally when we first talked about, we were worried about nukes being used on people,
Yes.
right? So nukes are actually used it's essentially to trigger raids, like big events.
Oh, okay.
So the idea being a group has to work together, find all the pieces, trigger the nuke, and
Yeah.
they hit this thing called a fissure. And, you know, there's a joke there, but no. Anyway, and it's like that's where the high-level content comes out and rare spawns and rare materials and things. So theoretically, it's not a bad thing. So that's good. That's
Yeah.
good. Because a lot of us were worried about that initially. I build up this big thing and
Somebody was just going to blow it up, and
Right.
that was it.
Right. One nuke and you're fucked.
Although one of the things that they were talking about that too, that they definitely kind of eased that early, was they said it basically saves your like town layout as
Yeah.
like a map kind of situation. And if it got blown up or
Right.
you blew the whole thing away or scrapped it, the whole thing,
Yeah, it's blueprints.
you have a full blueprint of the entire encampment, and you can just
Which is good.
rebuild the whole thing.
Which is good. Like individual pieces or like larger components, that's great. I mean,
Yeah.
you can move your stuff easily if you find a better base, and that's great. It didn't make any sense at the time because you were being nuked. But,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
now it makes a lot more sense. So the problem with the nuking thing is that these high-level spawns that come in this raid type situation,
Yeah.
typically they're supposed to require like a lot of player coordination and a lot of time and effort.
It's supposed to be like a Warcraft raid where you actually have to have like, you know, healer or tank and attack them and, you know, like counterattack, like all that kind of stuff.
It's not that's the problem. Like triggering it, like you'll get all these codes and you have to decipher them with clues and you have to get all the right pieces of the code, and there's like 3 different nukes, so you might get pieces from this one or that one or the other one.
Oh, okay.
So it's not supposed to happen all that often. So turns out there was a guy who cracked the code, and now from a single piece,
he knows
you can like extrapolate what the final code will be, like and like give you a couple of options. So you could just, you know, punch them all in, and you're good to go.
Yeah.
So that already has been pretty much fucked. So the other problem is that now that this has been decoded in such a way, the guy actually decided, hey, you fire one nuke at a fisher, you get all this high-level stuff. What happens if you fire all the nukes at the fisher? And he crashed the server.
Oh.
So, yes.
So it tried to, like, basically launch, like, 3 simultaneous raids, and it just fucking...
wham, wham, wham.
He nuked the server.
Correct. Yes. So, yeah, the server crashed. And, yeah, they're addressing that. That's an issue. I imagine that Bethesda is going to have to somehow change the algorithm so that...
yeah, obviously.
I mean, do something.
Because they got fucking Code Talker there now. Who's...
Right. So that's a problem. Yeah, crash the server, right? I mean, well, 3 nukes, right? I tell you. Anyway, so they've got some long-term plans. They're going to improve the camp building improvements. There's going to be extra, like various structures and whatnot. Like that was something I always wanted to see in Fallout 4, right? And some of the expansions did that, but I wanted to see like individual builder components that would be long-term sort of support. But that's what mods are for on the PC.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, new quests, new events, new vaults, character respecking, which is another big thing, and a faction-based PvP system, so some kind of organization to it, which would be...
That'd be a good idea.
I guess. I don't know. I'm still more interested in what they talked about, like private servers, but who knows how far that is down the line. Because, yeah, a lot of people are not happy with the current state of affairs, so...
unfortunately, it's just one of those things when you have an only online game like that, and it is going to be... Like, you're trying to set up everything in front of it so that you can install all the tools and the content afterwards. It's just... People are just going to jump all over it and you know, beat the shit out of it from day one. So, yeah, it's unfortunate, and I can see this game being fun and being good, but just not yet.
See, when Destiny launched, right, Bungie, say what you will about Bungie, they know how to make a goddamn solid shooter. So mechanically, Destiny was amazing.
Yeah, mechanically everything was there. It was the content that was missing.
Now... I'm no expert on Fallout 76, but I know that it was made by Bethesda. I can guarantee you it did not have solid shooting out of the box. I can fucking guarantee it.
Maybe questionable?
I've seen some videos, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Tron can, like, tell me I'm wrong, tell me I'm right, whatever, but I'm thinking probably not out of the box.
But then again, I mean, to be fair, it's not... They were never trying to make a Halo Battlefield-esque shooter. Fallout has always
like
been like a quirky style of shooting because of the VAT system.
But it's not that anymore. It's all
I know it's
now,
not that,
so,
but they've never made that solid one-to-one shooter, really, outside of...
or made anything with netcode.
The netcode thing is a big big cut in that, too.
Yes, indeed. All right, so Microsoft, of course, last week bought up a bunch of studios. Just going to quickly go through their brand new...
added more to the list because they already had announced some at E3.
Yeah, they've gotten some, and now they've added a few more. I just want to go through their list and sort of round up what they have now and what they're working on. Because right now, with E3 coming up, everyone's looking at, okay, what's Microsoft going to do? How are they going to capitalize on this? So their new studios, they have The Initiative. So they bought The Initiative, which is a brand new Santa Monica studio, just revealed this year, pardon me, from Daryl Gallagher. He worked on Tomb Raider, actually, on the reboot series. So,
okay.
From Crystal Dynamics. So we don't know what they're working on. They're brand new, but apparently they are given a lot of leeway by Microsoft. Go forth and do.
So they just said, go make a game?
something that is bold and different, is what they said. So
right.
it's operating like an independent studio. So I think Microsoft is trying to embrace Sony's more laissez-faire style.
Yeah, I would say that's definitely the way to go about it. Because
Right.
I mean, a lot of those gaming houses already know what they want to do, and they're good at what they do.
Theoretically.
Let them make their fucking games.
Right.
Don't tell them what they're fucking doing.
Yeah. Okay, so Playground Games, of course, they're Forza Horizon studio.
Right.
They are in the UK, founded in 2010. They are ex-developers from Codemasters, Criterion Games, Slightly Mad Studios, and Studio Liverpool. So, like, a good
Which
pedigree
are
there.
all racing game
Coincidentally
developers.
Well,
That's why those games are so fucking good.
Codemasters is a racing
Well,
game
Codemasters
developer. No, not
was
so good.
was a little hit and miss because they did a few other things, but
Damnation?
they all had their pedigree was all racing games.
Damnation. Anyway, so Phil Spencer revealed that the studio is working on a brand new open world game using what they've learned through developing Forza Horizon. So it's like kind of ironically, like a Horizon Zero Dawn
Yeah.
kind of game. But they're going to talk about that later. They're still doing Forza Horizon.
Yeah.
So that's
I
sort of
mean,
their thing.
they have to. That's their bread
Right.
and butter.
But I mean, they are legitimately an open world studio. So that's good.
Yeah.
Undead Labs, also an open world studio. That's the guys that make State of Decay. They're from Cambridge.
I mean, that basically made sense that they bought that because Microsoft
pardon me.
already was, they had them 1-to-1.
They're not from Cambridge. The next one's from Cambridge.
Oh.
Actually, not sure where State of Decay is from. I think they're from.
Get your notes straight.
Could be from. I want to say Seattle. I might be wrong on that. Anyway, so they're doing State of Decay 2. They're actively supporting that. There's a bunch of new content. They just put out a Zed Hunter update.
Okay.
A bunch of new stuff for that. They're committing to growing the State of Decay franchise, continuing to deliver the ultimate zombie survival experience for fans, says the, media plot. Anyway, Ninja Theory, of course, they're the ones from Cambridge, founded back in 2000, known for Heavenly Sword, of course, Enslaved, Odyssey of the West, DMC, Hellblade. DMC did not get the love it needed.
No, it
Such a
really
good
didn't.
game.
I will fight anyone that said that was a shit game because
Well,
I
it's the
fucking love
fans.
it.
It's the people. Oh, Dante's got black hair. Oh, he's a kid.
Oh, you ruined my world.
Right.
It's like, shut up. It's a good game. Just fucking play it.
Right? He can't get past that. So anyway, apparently, he says when they were approached by Microsoft, they eventually came around when they promised they'd be free from typical AAA development trappings and promised full creative independence. So again, it's the same sort of
Yeah.
they
They just want them on lock,
Yep.
but still do what you're doing, and then they get to reap the rewards from that.
because what they're purchasing, they're purchasing a bunch of game genres that they don't have in their stable already. I mean, they're locking down obviously Forza and Undead Labs. Like State of Decay has been an important part of the franchise.
Stuff that have been core games
Right.
for them, but all those other genres, and basically what they're doing is, it took them fucking long enough to understand this. You need exclusives to sell your console, so they are finally doing that.
Well, they understood that. They just hadn't had any good ones. I mean, that's a facile argument. I'm just saying, obviously Sony had much better first-party exclusives. Microsoft had a few, just not as many to drive a system that had technical issues like the Xbox One. Compulsion Games, they're the guys that did Contrast, which is like a launch PS4 title.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And We Happy Few, of course. So that, I mean, say what you will about
that's
We
a
Happy Few.
that's a Canadian company, I think.
Possibly.
I thought We Happy Few was actually done in Montreal.
I do not know. It's
Yeah.
possible. I don't know those guys particularly. I did not play Contrast. I was interested to play We Happy Few because it had a very Bioshock kind of feel,
Very much so, yeah.
but I never got around to that, unfortunately. Obviously, this past weekend, we just heard they had bought In Exile, or not the past weekend before last. They bought In Exile and Obsidian. In Exile has Bard's Tale and Wasteland, and Obsidian had Fallout New Vegas, and more importantly, Alpha Protocol.
Yes.
Alpha Protocol.
So, all right. So
Stick of Truth, Pillars of Eternity, but Alpha Protocol.
I guess the question has to be asked: if they brought out an Alpha Protocol 2,
Well, they can't do shit without Sega.
yeah,
But the answer you're looking for is yes, I would buy an Xbox to play Alpha Protocol 2.
hey, just play it on your PC.
I mean, yes, that would probably be what would happen.
then you don't need to buy a whole new console to do it.
Right. But I mean, still, I would love an Alpha Protocol 2.
Yes.
And the funny thing is that people inside the company,
Yeah,
they want to make one too.
yeah,
They do.
they're totally on board with that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm an apologist for its issues, but it had so much genius at its core.
Yeah.
Just couched in some really awkward other things. So
It was just, I think the main issue probably was it was just
Yep.
a bit before its time.
Yep.
It could have used a little more love, a little more money.
So some of these things we know what they're working on, right? These are known quantities. So like Playground Games, Undead Labs, we know what they're going to work on. Don't know about these new ones. Who knows? So that's five other like brand new studios. 2 to 3 years down the road, they'll be making content for likely the next Xbox.
Yeah.
So if you're penning it out, you're thinking second year of Xbox next. So they have their core first-party studios probably working on launch stuff, and these guys working on 2 years from now, 3 years from now stuff.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing is, again, they're playing it smart this time where they're going to release a new console. They will have first-party stuff for said console. Yep. The next year up, it's not a graveyard anymore.
Yeah.
You have, hey, we've got this game, this game,
Right.
this game's coming out mid-year. Like, that's the shit that you need to keep to keep selling your systems.
So launch, you'll have like 343, you'll have Turn 10, you'll have like all the like first-party studios. You'll have
You can talk discount.
Check your phone, Jake.
Oh.
What?
You said check your phone.
Why?
Because he sent you a message, apparently.
You just sent me a message. You're right there.
Howdy, folks. Welcome back. All right. That was a fun little intermission. Quick little reboot. And,
Oh, hang on. We're not back yet.
why are we not back? Oh, right. Sorry. Jack needs his accoutrement on. If you could call that, I don't know. Radio Shack. No, we have no elevator music. Sorry.
Yep.
All right. Well,
Technical
anyways,
issues drive
yes.
me to drink. That's the problem.
So unfortunately, yeah, there was a bit of an issue there, but hey, we're back and we got a crispy frame rate again. So
crispy.
So what was the next topic there? Because I know we were talking about Microsoft buying up studios.
Correct.
And then it was THQ Nordic.
Yes, THQ Nordic is a remorseless eating machine.
So there was
Yes.
bankrupt studios that they were picking
Correct.
up.
Well, it wasn't bankrupt studios.
No?
These are now full-fledged operating studios that are releasing stuff. And THQ came along and said, "We'll
Yoink.
take you." Yes, because I mean, up until now, right? You see things like Vigil Interactive, right? When THQ went under, Vigil, they got all those people, and like 90% of them became Gunfire Games that
Yeah.
are now doing Darksiders under their banner.
Right.
Same thing with like Volition, right? Volition is still a studio under THQ Nordic. You have who else? 4A. Actually, I think THQ Nordic. I think they're just publishing for them. They don't own them. But anyway, like stuff like that. Like they are now buying not only IP that is old and forgotten. They bought current studios that are making interesting stuff that you and I are both going to want to play.
Okay.
So this past
Lay it on me.
weekend, they purchased Bugbear Entertainment,
Oh yes.
which you recognize.
Yes.
They're the people who are making Wreckfest.
Yes, and
Which,
that,
of course,
'cause
that's
that
what
was
we were
the
talking
one,
about.
Yeah, we had talked about like a week or two ago.
Right.
And yes, because I was fully aware of who they were because I was one of the Kickstarter backers
Right.
for Wreckfest like years ago.
So this is the spiritual sequel to Flat Out, right?
Yes.
And it had all those weird crashing fun games. I remember playing on the Xbox.
It was just a proper demolition derby
Right.
racing game with some extras to
well,
it. That
yeah,
were
it was
just,
like the bit where you had to crash and like crash into all the kind of things. It was like a chain reaction sort of thing.
no, that one didn't have the chain
What's wrong?
reaction. That was like not split second. It was Burnout. That was the Burnout series. Flat Out
Okay.
was the one we were talking about where they had the bowling
was the other one, yeah.
and the blackjack and
Yes.
basketball and like you had to like launch your driver and that had the high jump and everything.
Right.
Now, unfortunately, they don't have a lot of that stuff in Wreckfest yet, but I'm pretty sure they're going in that direction. But as far as the core game goes, it's an amazing Demolition Derby game.
And Necro is bringing up Volition. Volition, I'm 100% with him. We
Yeah.
need a goddamn free space game because they haven't done free space in years, but they're the Saints Row guys.
Yes. So can't
don't-
really argue that fact.
We don't talk about Agents of Mayhem, but I have free space. I have free space 2. I have all the add-ons, like quality games. They were better than Wing Commander back in the day, and that takes a lot for me to say something was
gonna
better
say,
than Wing
yeah.
Commander. Like that was one of the very first games that I needed a 3D card for. So yes, Volition had some fantastic storylines to go with these games. We want to see more free space, but that's not what we're talking about right now. So Bugbear Entertainment. They are bringing out, when is that coming out? Wreckfest. I don't think they have a firm date. It's going to be in early 2019, but they don't have a specific
like
date.
I think they're shooting for like March or something like that.
Now, the other one they just bought up is Coffee Stain Studios.
Why do I know that?
Oh,
name?
from a couple of games like Sanctum or Goat Simulator.
Oh, okay, yeah, it was Goat Simulator. That was the one I.
Or more importantly, their next game that everybody excited for, Satisfactory.
Oh, yes.
Which looks fucking incredible. It's like Factorio meets No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
And it ticks so many of my goddamn boxes. I like to build stuff. I'm like, Ark. Yeah, like an Ark and Fallout 4. Like,
I
like
see your way of
building a
discount.
bunch of shit. So yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway,
no, that's awesome. I'm glad that they got them because I'm definitely looking forward to that one.
Satisfactory looks like it's going to be a fun time. So they just bought them out. And so like you think about it, right? They bought out Bugbear. They bought out Coffee Stain. Got Darksiders 3 comes out in like a week. So they're like, it's starting to bear fruit now. It's not just remasters and reissues. We're getting actual brand new titles.
They did it smart. They worked their way up. They've got their name. They've got their name out there now. So it's time to make some new content.
So get this, THQ says that during their last financial call, which was like the end of September, the end of October for September, they said they have 35 unannounced games in development.
Holy fuck.
They have a lot of games that they've announced. There are initial 35 unannounced. That's insane.
Yeah, that's a lot of fucking games.
It's a lot of games. So, Jesus Christ. It's still not enough to impress the king of all cosmos, but, what does?
Nothing really does.
Goddamn.
What I'm really hoping is somewhere in those 35 games, Maimko will agree with me on this one.
What's that?
I want them to make a wrestling game based on the 64 wrestling games, but it doesn't even need to be WWE.
Wrestling.
They can have rando made-up characters, give me a create a character thing, have like that fake storyline set up where you like rise to power.
Sure.
Just do it all on like original style characters and original story, and I will buy that day one, hands down. That would be an absolute purchase for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Because I'm just like, again, there's never been a wrestling game that has scratched that itch from the 64 ones since then. Like they've always tried, but there's just always something wrong with them.
I'm gonna go back to WWE versus Raw 2007, which had the full story mode and the everything, where you had your made up character.
Yeah, and see, that was
all
the thing. Is like that was probably the closest that we've gotten, but still there was stuff about it that was just off compared to the other ones.
It's a highly specific pick out of all the wrestling games, unfortunately.
And Necro, not even Punch Club, but wrestling. It literally just take what the old WWE games were, because you could use a create a character and you would get introduced to Vince McMahon and you were like a nobody jobber and you would have to like fight your way up and then you would eventually get title matches and everything. Just throw that in, but just make up all the content. Have some fun with it. That's definitely the way to go about it. Because then you don't have to worry about an expensive WWE license. Just people know the name THQ because of the wrestling games for 64. Like that was one of the core reasons why people knew who THQ was. So yeah, I would. One of those 35 games, I'm really hoping ends up being that.
Well, who even has? Is it who owns the who has the
2K?
Is it 2K now?
Yeah, 2K's had them forever because that's like it's 2K18, 2K19. Like
that's right.
Yeah.
I haven't played any of the ones recently. I think the last one I played was 2K. Jesus.
Honestly, if it's within the last 5 years, you've played the same fucking game. They play them. They build them like sports games now. So it's
great.
like if you bought one 3 years ago, it's the same game with an updated roster and updated menus. Like
I don't know what version I got, but it was like half the shit was locked out from the beginning. You had to go through the tutorial, and it was like it was really poorly designed, the interface and everything. So I tried to play it with one of the staves, and it was
it's one of the reasons why you don't redesign your UI every single fucking year.
Right? Like if it isn't broken.
Yeah, just fucking work with it.
All right, so we got some quick hits.
Okay.
So PUBG is indeed coming to PS4, as we expected.
As expected.
So that's coming out December the 7th. So very close to the rumor date we said. It was like, I think that's the day... I think it's the day of the Game Awards or the day after the Game Awards. So there'll probably be an announcement.
Discount. Why are you waving your phone at me?
Game Awards.
Oh, okay.
Or you could just talk to me.
Talk to me, Goose.
Okay, well, it is what it is.
Yep.
Can we kill the stream apps? Chat.
No. Anyway,
It is what it is.
it is what it is.
Hang in there, folks.
Yeah.
We're going to get through this.
All right. So, during an interview with Supermassive Games, the executive director, Pete Samuels, he was talking about the relationship with Sony. So he's talking about their new Dark Pictures anthology.
Right.
So he says their relationship is still excellent. They're working on several unannounced PS exclusives. So possibly Until Dawn 2, but more PlayStation exclusives. I don't know if you've seen the trailer for Man of Medan. It's like the ghost ship one.
No, I haven't seen that one.
Looks pretty cool.
Is that like their new big flagship
Yeah.
title kind of thing?
Yeah, it's gonna be. Well, there's 3 of them. They're not related, but they all have kind of like a thematic similarity.
It's like a Twilight Zone kind of situation.
Right.
It's like different stories in the
Yes.
same kind of universe
a
or
little
whatever.
bit of Night Springs,
Yeah.
you know. Or so anyway, it looks like it's gonna be cool. But those are all like multi-platform. These ones are other ones, PlayStation exclusive. We don't know what they are.
Mm-hmm.
So probably Until Dawn 2. As long as they have Peter Stormare back.
I mean, that'd be a big get for them too, just because that game was such a huge like
It
sleeper
was a
hit.
sleeper hit, yeah. They did not know how to market that back in the day.
Clearly not.
Yeah.
No.
So Star Citizen.
Oh God, what does it want? More money?
They're-
Go away.
They are still raking in money.
You want to talk about $30 billion or whatever?
Right? About that. They could loan Square some money.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
could cover their losses.
Star Citizen should just buy Square Enix
Yeah.
and be done with it.
Well, Star Citizen has now crowdfunded $200 million.
that is like for a
200
Kickstarted game. That is a disgusting amount of
Yes,
money.
especially since most of it they got after the Kickstarter.
That's Rockstar money right there.
Yeah, but difference is Rockstar would come out with a game after 5 years.
Yes, this is true.
Yep. Rockstar will take its time, but we'll actually release the game
Yeah.
again. So anyway, to celebrate earning $200 million, they're going to have a free fly event. So between November 23rd and 30th, you can make an account for free. You can sign in. You can fly any ship you want
Yeah.
and test it out. So you can, each day they're going to have like one of their different in-game manufacturers. All of their stuff will be free for
Okay.
24 hours. So it lets you wet your whistle on the really awesome ships that you have to buy with real money or like grind for hours
just
for.
baiting that hook.
Right? And then,
Yeah, the first taste is free, kid.
yeah. So, I mean, they say it's free, but really it's just like, but my starting ship is so shitty.
Yeah. Yeah, they let you drive all the Ferraris of the sky, and then all of a sudden they kick you back down, and they're like, "Hey, did you like that ship you were flying the other day?
I miss Wing
Maybe
Commander.
you want to give us some money."
Yeah, really. You know, like Privateer or Freelancer, amazing game. Star Citizen now it's like
Star Citizen has almost become its own like cult religion. Like it's like fucking like Scientology. They're just like, "Give us money."
apparently it works out to be roughly $96 per person.
Oh my god.
$200 million. There's like 2 million people, 2.1 million people have signed up and are
It's just
supporting
like I guess that's not as bad when you think about it kind of in that way, because you're looking at
is.
you're looking at that like $80 to $90
Yeah.
like buy-in price. The bad part though is that A, it's not a complete game yet and it's
Right.
taken all this time, and B, I know that a large portion of that it like averages out to that per person,
Yeah.
but there are plenty of
Oh,
people
yes.
in there that have paid
There-
way fucking more than
There are
that.
definitely whales in among all those people. But
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, it's like 2.1 million sales. Your average Deus Ex game would kill for that. But they haven't delivered a product yet.
Yeah.
So, like, what happens after 8 years, after 10 years, if they deliver a product that's just
I mean, we can only wait and see. I mean, I guess one of the things that does speak to it is that there are still people giving the money. There are still people playing it, playing the beta. They're still in it like day after day after day. So they're clearly doing something right, because if it was a
they?
beta and it wasn't fun and there wasn't content, they wouldn't be making money like this anymore.
Okay, but how much of it is a combination of sunk cost fallacy and Stockholm syndrome? Yeah, I love it. It's great.
I mean,
I
that's
paid
just
$500 for my stuff. I love it. It's fantastic.
that's up to the gamer that you talk to at that point. But I mean, again, as we've seen, gamers can be quite fickle too.
Yeah.
So
I don't know how to pay $70 for Fallout,
if there's
let alone goddamn.
there has to be
Star
something
Citizen.
there that's keeping them there.
I mean, as much as I have given money to Chris Roberts over the years, it's because there is a game that is completed that he hands back to me.
That is true.
And
So
I went
that's
to-
why we just hang back and wait for it to
guess.
become its completed Ultimate Edition, And then we look at it and be like, is this worth the money?
I'm going to find out in the end he's going to do like a director's cut of Wing Commander with the money and make that movie suck less. And that it would be worth it.
I think that's pretty fucking low on his list there, Jack.
I think it's pretty low on everyone's list.
Yeah.
Okay, so last weekend's X18 event for Microsoft, they actually had Crackdown 3's multiplayer running for some media to actually test out.
Just for media, not the public?
I don't know if it was available to the public. I only saw like the media event.
Okay.
It looked interesting enough. It looked like fun and fast-paced.
I mean, just like the Crackdown games are.
Right? But all the in-city destruction. Supposedly the whole city is destructible.
So they've gone back to that. Like, it is destructible.
Doesn't look that great. I mean, I was looking at the destruction, how it's a bunch of low poly buildings. Everything looks like Tron, so it's all like
super simplistic.
Yeah, and the destruction itself, there was better destruction back in Red Faction Guerrilla. That was like 10 years ago.
Yeah. I mean, I
don't know.
It's one of those things. Like you have to kind of look at it both ways. So one, it's like, yes, this is current gen. We've got crazy horsepower. They've been working on this game forever. This should look fucking amazing. But then again, you look at it from the other side, and it's like it doesn't look that great. But maybe they overshot what they were going for, and they realized that there's so much going on in the city that they had to kind of dumb down I don't know, the destruction. Because I mean, to be fair, you look at like something like Red Faction Guerrilla, and it's Mars. It's a pretty sparse planet.
Okay, but you had like amazing destruction mechanics for a game that is 10 years old. Yeah, so it's crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of hit and miss. Like I can see why it might not look great, but it is unfortunate that it doesn't look great because they hyped it up so much and they have this horsepower. Like, where's it going? Like, what are they using it for? Then?
Like, if the single player game is good, whatever. But I mean, the multiplayer. If you go out and look at the video, like in Red Faction Guerrilla, and they didn't have dedicated servers for that either. It was all like peer to peer. And you had, like, some pretty nice destruction, even in multiplayer. You had, like, 12 people wrecking shit in a city in Red Faction Guerrilla. It was amazing. Yep. And much better destruction mechanics. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm a little bit...
Is that just like a cam one, or can we see, like, the one-to-one screen of it?
There's actual video out there.
Okay, I want to take a look at that after, because I want to see for myself, like, what it actually looks like.
I'm a little disappointed. Anyway, regardless,
I am disappointed.
I mean, after 5 years,
I guess that's where it kind of stings. It's just they keep toting it along, they keep hyping it up, and then all of a sudden they're like, here, and you're like, oh, this is it.
Maybe I'd be hanging in there a little bit more if Crackdown 2 wasn't a disappointment as well.
Yeah,
but I mean, it doesn't matter. Anyway, maybe I'm alone in this, but I don't know. Anyway, PlayStation Now, it has really kind of turned around Sony's future on subscription-based gaming. Now that they could have the download,
did fix
right?
it. They did fix it.
I mean, we talked about it right back when the Xbox Game Pass, and they did exactly what they said they should do.
Exactly, yeah.
So, Q3 2018, across all gaming subscription services, and that means not just Sony, but like Origin Access and everything else.
Right.
$273 million in revenue from subscription services. So how it breaks down, and this is the amazing part, 8% was Origin Access, which is like the PC one.
Yeah.
9% Origin Access Premier, 15% Xbox Game Pass, 16% EA Access, 52% PlayStation Now.
Wow, that's
52% of subscription-based gaming.
That's shocking. I want to know if PlayStation Now was actually still had good numbers back then, like maybe like even a year ago.
Or I mean, this is just Q3.
If it was literally like they turned it around with that one ability to download the games, like if it shot from 21% to like, way the fuck up.
I mean, I would guarantee you, like, there's a lot of people, like the latency, the infrastructure is just not there for streaming in most places. So the fact that they can download stuff now, and they have a good selection of stuff to download.
Yeah, and remember too, Origin is EA.
Yes. Origin is the PC subscription service, whereas EA Access is the Xbox one.
Oh, the Xbox one. Okay.
Yeah. And then Xbox Game Pass is, of course, a whole separate thing. But they separate out EA Access, which is the early Xbox One EA service that is the equivalent of Origin Access on the computer. They have a lot more on EA Access, actually, because it doesn't matter. Anyway, long story short, PlayStation Now is kicking ass now, which is crazy.
Yeah, I'm actually quite shocked by that because again, like we've talked about it before, we knew that the numbers at first definitely weren't great for PlayStation. Now it was kind of like we always question, it's like why? It's almost like why does this exist? Like who's actually paying for this service?
Right.
But obviously it worked out. Now
OnLive couldn't do it. Nvidia Steam couldn't do it.
Any particular numbers?
Yeah, like do they have numbers like subscriber base?
$273 million is the total value. Take 52% of that, and that's the value.
There you go.
That'll at least get you in the ballpark. I don't have a specific number broken down by type, but that is the entire pie chart.
Yeah, and Ruru too. I don't blame you. I'm one of those people that's like, EA is only going to get my money if it's something very specific, like a Command and Conquer remaster.
I did actually sign up for Origin Access for a couple of months because they had a special where you got it for like $1 or whatever.
Oh, okay.
And I think it was like the Halloween before last. We were going to have Commander Santa in to play Dead Space.
Yes, yep.
And he never got around to it, or I don't recall. We had to cancel it, but so I played some of the other stuff for a while. I played. I don't even remember.
No,
some
obviously
EA
something worth it.
Yeah, it was EA stuff anyway, so I mean you can put it together regardless. Yeah. It was a good service and all, but anyway. All right, time for the big ticket.
Okay, let's do it.
So this week, of course, the biggest news out there, shocked everyone, or maybe not, but Sony announced that this year they are not going to E3 2019. So a lot of people, like the second that happens, everyone's like, what? Are you kidding me? And then it's like, okay, now what does this mean?
Yeah.
So, and this is a big deal because, I mean, RIP E3, that's about right? Because the PlayStation has been a part of E3 literally since the very first one.
Absolutely.
23 years ago. It was the U.S. launch of the original PlayStation. It was the very, very first E3.
Yeah.
And they had, who is it? It's the head of development, Steve Race. You remember that video where it's like they had the SEA president? He introduced Steve Race. He's the head of development. He comes out and says, oh, he's just come out for a brief announcement. And he comes out and he has the papers and he's like, $2.99, and he walks away.
Yeah.
It's like mic drop moment, right? And this is like a couple of days after at E3, Sega said, oh yeah, and Saturn's in stores now, and it's $400, and go get it.
Yeah.
And then people couldn't get it, and their games are shitty, and then, so Sega knew that PlayStation was kicking their ass in Japan. They wanted to get in early in North America.
Didn't work.
Not so much. So they came in, and it was like kind of exactly the same thing with the PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
They knew exactly where the audience was. They got in. They did their thing. That was the very, very first E3. So Sony and E3 have gone together for years, and they've had huge booths, same as Xbox. Now this year, for the first time, there's going to be a big hole in their floor.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's going to be filled by fork knife.
Yeah, you never know, right? Epic could probably fill that whole thing. Who the hell knows? So,
oh, good evening, Faku. Welcome to the chat.
Hey, Faku, how you doing? Faku! I'm not sure if that's that could be a Letterkenny joke.
It's Faku or Faku? I don't know. Either way, welcome to the chat.
Yes.
Hope you enjoy.
All right.
Yeah, so basically they're going to have like a big hole on the floor. Obviously, they're going to fill it. There's going to be lots of other people, lots of smaller devs that can kind of dive in there.
I don't know. Because, I mean, EA moved out.
Yes.
They have their own separate thing. The EA, what is it? The EA Days of Play?
Or what the hell is it now?
I think it's Days of Play, whatever the hell their thing is.
Yeah.
But it's like a whole other separate thing. Devolver, of course, has its traditional tent across the street.
Mm-hmm.
Used to be in the parking lot. Now they moved across the street.
Yeah.
So,
slowly just moving away.
Right? So Activision Blizzard doesn't do their thing at E3 anymore.
Yeah.
Who is it? Disney? I think Disney is out too. I don't know who else. There's like a few of them now.
Mm-hmm.
And now Sony.
Yeah.
So, of course...
Apparently it's an Argentinian name.
Argentinian name. Okay, sorry. Hopefully we weren't like slamming you, but welcome to the stream. Activision is actually out. Activision Blizzard, they pulled out last year.
Yep, they were gone last year.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to be back this year, but and Nintendo, right? They were out for a long time. They did directs, and then I think they came back for the Switch a little bit. So,
and even then, it was just I think they wanted kind of just that free access to that public, and then they're going to be out again because they do their Treehouse events,
right? Exactly,
4 times a year or whatever, Nintendo Direct and all that stuff. So.
And of course, something happens. and Michael Pachter has an opinion about why it happened. So our good friend Michael Pachter of Wedbush Securities, he says it's because of the timing of new games. They just don't have a lot of things to announce in June. I think it's a mistake to skip the show. They will probably be there, but without a big booth. It was a surprise to me. About half of that, shockingly enough, I agree with. But Pachter, throw a dart and hit a board. And,
yeah, that's basically it.
Right. So anyway, PSX 2018 was canceled. E3's canceled for Sony.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know what their plans for next year are. Everybody is talking about it. There was a huge rumor this week about PlayStation 5 that, say what you will, but basically there's a bunch of rumors floating around, and it basically falls into 3 different categories.
All right, fire away.
So
Because apparently Faku's a big Sony fan.
See, there you go.
Best exclusives, and they're going to drop something big about PS5.
Oh, come on. Okay, so the PSP was not
Okay, you have 30 seconds. Go.
PSP was killed because of piracy, not because of a problem with the hardware. PS Vita was an amazing piece of tech, but it was too amazing. It needed a lower price point. It needed more accessibility like the DS.
They need more developers.
It needed more developers because it was too expensive to develop for. People weren't buying it.
Yeah.
That didn't bring the developers in. Great piece of technology if you wanted to play digital games on the go, though. And the rest were good.
Okay.
PS3... cell architecture, we know what that problem was.
Yeah.
Everything else was good.
Unfortunately, it was broken from the start, but they fixed it slowly.
So, thing one. E3 is gradually becoming irrelevant anyhow, which is essentially true.
Yes.
It's a good place for people to come together, bring the public in, the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
But as we move more and more into a digital age, a physical venue where you're going to try stuff out, especially that environment, it just becomes too compact and like you're all on top of each other. It's prohibitively expensive. Like,
yes.
That's why Devolver is literally across the street.
Yeah. Because it probably costs them a quarter of the price to be there.
They simply, like, all the stuff they publish, they just cannot afford to have a booth on the floor. So it's ridiculous. So, and Sony's booth, aside from Microsoft, is the biggest one there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you look at the maps year in, year out, it's a huge chunk of the floor. So that's possible. That makes sense. I don't think that's the whole reason, but I think that makes sense. I still think that they should have did something at E3.
I mean, it's one of those things. Like, I think they're holding back because they don't want that situation where they show up at E3 and, typically you go into E3 with something to show.
Yep.
And they don't have that punch to show this coming year.
And that brings us to thing 2.
All right, thing 2.
Thing 2. Games just aren't ready.
Yes.
So you have, we canceled PSX probably for the same reason, which kind of was the reason they gave. We have Days Gone, which is pushed back to April.
Yeah.
We have The Last of Us Part 2, which is rumored to be fourth quarter because of some of the copyrights that was on the music that was released on their trailers, but copyrights can be changed.
Yeah.
I mean, they can be re-registered, so who knows? Ghost of Tsushima, who the fuck knows?
That's up in the air. It's basically, that's one of those situations. It's done when it's done.
Dreams, that's been constantly evolving for 5 years. We still don't even know what that's going to be.
Probably floating around the studio and they're still trying to catch it.
Right? Death Stranding, I don't even know. Is that a racing game? What the fuck is it? Is it Tetris? Nobody knows. Death Stranding could be if someone said to me Death Stranding will be out tomorrow, I'll be like, yeah, okay.
That makes sense.
If someone said Death Stranding's gonna be out 10 years from me, I'm like, yeah, okay.
And if you told me Death Stranding's a concept, I'd be like, yep, okay. Yeah. That makes sense.
Kojima Unfettered, it could be anything. So, I mean, some of those might be out next year. Days Gone will be out next year. Last of Us Part 2, possibly. Dreams, who the hell knows?
Yeah.
We're going to get Concrete Genie, which is that indie kind of one.
Right, the graffiti one.
But, I mean, no one's hanging a quarter on that.
That was like a fun little indie title.
I mean, maybe Dreams, but, I mean, who knows? Death Stranding, there's a rumor that's further along than people believe, but who knows?
Yeah. It's Kojima. He could pull anything you wanted, basically.
So, short of something first party that we're not aware of yet, just coming out and releasing the same year, next year's slate, for first party titles, not as good as Sony has been.
Janus Reen, that's recently. What I was saying. Death Stranding is clearly going to be a text-based dating sim with base building resource allocation.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's gonna
The video
Yep.
they've shown so far, smoke show.
no.
That has nothing to do with the game.
Oh, it's going to have a resource management scheme where you have to bake different kinds of pies and serve them to the villagers in your,
And it's going to be an idle clicker, and you're going to play it
exactly,
on mobile.
exactly. And then you're going to have to log in every 3 or 4 hours to check to see if your pies are made.
Yeah.
And
and make sure your Neopet isn't dead.
yeah, and to make sure that your sink is free of fetuses.
Oh my god.
No, wait, that's PT. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So, I mean, that there's a possibility there. There's some logic to that. Game's not ready, fine.
Yeah.
We're in year 5 now. It'll be year 6 in June of a console cycle.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at it, that's roughly where the Xbox 360 started to... Oh, we have nothing, right? We like the PlayStation 3 is coming out with...
Well, because you're already sinking all your money into the
Right.
next system, so...
I mean, they didn't have as many studios, but Sony's coming out with Last of Us and stuff around that era. There's nothing for the 360 for that last year, so it makes sense that all that development is going into the next system.
Yeah.
So that's a possibility, and then the big crazy one that people are floating around.
This is thing number 3?
Yeah, thing number 3. It means that PlayStation 5 is going to be in 2019. And this is the rumor that's been going around, unsourced, unsubstantiated. I don't know what people are smoking or how that's going to work out.
I mean, there's people that want it to happen.
I mean,
so-
everyone wants it to happen.
And that's the thing, is that, like, if Sony could make it happen, this would be, like, one of the biggest mic drop moments in, like, gaming history.
I mean, I don't know. If you think about it, the 360 came out a year before the PS3, and the PS3 had a disastrous first 2 or 3 years, and they still came back and beat the 360 globally.
Yeah.
So a year jump isn't necessarily a big thing, as long as Sony doesn't fuck it up.
It could be
big.
well, Microsoft
Yes.
is stumbling and picking up these, like, developers and stuff like that.
Maybe.
If they could get in that year early,
Maybe.
and or to be well onto the next generation,
Yeah.
then that could be a thing. Now, obviously, as we said, it's pretty tricky to pull that off now, especially with people checking trademarks and checking.
Yeah.
Like they figure out when shit's coming out basically before it happens. And I don't think it's going to happen in 2019.
No, me either. And I mean, I think the original rumor came out from MP First. I don't know where they sourced it from, or if it was them. I could be misquoting, but there was actually I believe there was an article on PSU reporting on the report. Mm-hmm. So I don't think we ever got it past this is a rumor. But we haven't even heard that there's final dev kits out there for developers. We don't have final specs on the system.
Yeah.
Not every developer has PS5 dev kits. We would have heard things like manufacturing would be ramping up. They'd have final chipsets being built. And I mean,
okay,
why would they undercut themselves? The PS4 is still selling like gangbusters.
Yeah, exactly. So let's we'll talk about like the two big factors here.
Nah.
One being Sony and one being E3.
Right.
So we'll talk about E3 first. What do you think E3 looks like going forward? How is E3 transforming? And because I mean, you could even say it's just going to go away. Like, is that your thought? Like, what do you think E3 is going to become?
I mean, E3 has had lean years before. They've run into issues like this before. Mm-hmm. And like the last 4 or 5 years or so, they've come back in a big way.
It's because they invited the public back into the building.
I mean, that's a big part of it, right? And with the public comes the developers that want to show off to the public. But, I mean, right now they're in a precarious situation. It's not going to happen all at once. It's not going to be like next year, 2020, there's going to be nothing.
Yeah.
Right? And I think, honestly, by then we're going to have new hardware, and it's just going to go through a cycle. It's just like a sine wave, right? It's kind of iffy now, and then developers are going to come back again. And as long as there are public events, it's not like E3 is the only show either, right? You got Gamescom, you got Tokyo Game Show, you got Paris Games Week.
Yeah, exactly. So
E3 is a big deal.
And that's the thing, is E3 is still, it's the bread and butter, it's the
Right.
household name. So I think where they're going with it is that you're having the companies that are big enough to have their own events.
Yeah.
They're the ones that are stepping away. You talk about you're talking about Sony, you're talking about Devolver, you're talking about Disney, Blizzard Activision, like these are big maybe not Devolver so much, like but they know what they're doing. They have
Right.
fun with kind of their thing. But all these other guys, they're gigantic developers. These are the people that can go out. They've got the namesake,
Right.
so they can be like, hey, we're having an event. People fucking pay attention to them. And they're like, we're going to have it here. They've got the money to pay to go wherever they want to have said event. So those are the people you're going to see step away from E3.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean E3 is going to die. It's E3 is going to transform into something else. And that is going to be... It's going to still be a gaming event, but it's going to just transform into something that is focused more on smaller developers, probably a lot of mobile markets.
I mean, I
indie
can't see
devs
that,
and
though.
stuff like that.
While the ESA is pricing smaller developers out of the market, they physically cannot rent space on their budget. I don't think they can do that. They will have to like radically change their pricing scheme, which will drastically change their ability to put on an event as big as E3. Like the Los Angeles.
That's the thing, though, is that it'll transform. They'll make it a bit smaller, but it'll be more game centric. So rather than having the big four in there and having to wait 2 hours in a line to play a fucking game and stuff like that, it's going to be a giant public event where actually everyone comes together to play games and experience some new things.
See, Jay Tanuki, I think we're going to see conferences like PAX, like that are more user-centric, be more central to this. Like, honestly, I could see Sony sponsoring a PAX-like event or one other big developer sponsoring a PAX-like event, and then that becomes the new E3.
Well, no, but it couldn't be just because they're the ones sponsoring it, because other people wouldn't come under that flag there. So they would have their own thing. They could have a
Fiascon.
Fiascon, yeah, sure.
Couple of years, my friend.
But no, and that's kind of like where I'm going to after this fact of like what's happening at E3. We're going to talk about what's happening with Sony, and that's what I think is going to happen. I think they've pulled out E3, they've pulled back from PSX because I think they're going to reroute what PSX does, and that is going to be their core event for themselves.
It'll have to be.
And they're going to change when it happens, where it happens, and what's actually shown there. So. Just like
you're talking about, like in 2020.
Yeah, in 2020.
Okay.
Or no, like 2019, they could have a PSX event, maybe even rebrand it. Maybe that's why I'm saying, we're not doing PSX because they're going to
absolutely not rebrand it. PSX is an iconic thing, and it harkens back to the original console. They would never change.
No, what I'm saying though is that if they held something next year.
Yep.
They may have said, we're not doing PSX next year because technically it's called something else. It could be called PSX something, like whatever. Like
just move it. We're not married to December.
But either way, this is my idea, not yours.
Well, just saying, I think they should keep it. They already have PSX established. Just say, we'll have it whenever we're going to have it.
Yeah. Well, that's my whole deal is that they're big enough and they got the name behind them so that
and doggone it, people like them.
They can have their own event. So I feel like just like Nintendo stepped outside of E3, it was still around E3. You look at EA, same thing. They had it a week before E3. Sony could easily do the same thing. You could have it a week after E3. They could have a week-long event, fucking Sony Days, whatever, PSX, and they could show all of their shit and talk about whatever's happening on their side of things. Now, of course, with next year being kind of devoid of a lot of that stuff, I think they're going to have maybe one small hard-hitting PSX event, and maybe not even, like, they don't want to call it PSX because it's just going to be the announcement of the PS5 coming in 2020.
Maybe.
And it's going to be the all eyes on us, bitches, because we are announcing the brand new console that comes out early next year.
Yeah.
And that's what it's going to be. It's not technically...
No. Hang the fuck on.
What?
That is where you lost me, right there.
Okay. You got a problem with it coming out early?
No. Not a problem with that. Just the timing. The timing is a key factor. Now, people were saying, they're talking about, okay, if it's not coming out in 2019, it's going to be announced at PSX 2019, like, for the following year. And that absolutely is a stupid idea. Because, and I mean, I'm not calling you stupid. I'm just saying that this is someone defended this for hours. You're not going to have Sony announce before Christmas that next year they're going to have a new console. It just, That does not make any sense because they're going to.
That's no different than going to E3 and saying you have a new console next year.
Well, yeah. Difference is that you don't see that happen unless you're Microsoft and they're in the fucking toilet anyway, right?
Are you fucking kidding me?
I'm telling you. Think about it. The PlayStation 3, like they announced,
they showed silhouettes and some information about PS4.
Same year. PS4 in February, and then it came out that November. Like they had their announcement in February, they showed it at E3, they had all the other guys in back, came out that November. You don't want to hamstring your Christmas sales by saying, "Oh, we're gonna release something new next year," because then your PS4 won't sell. So the PS4 is going to sell through this year. It's going to sell through 2019, and then after Christmas, February, March, you're going to see them do their announcement, PS5, and then maybe they'll have an E3 thing, maybe they won't. But definitely by the October, November, you're going to see it launch in time for Black Friday.
Okay, well, there you go. So
Yeah.
J2 is basically saying, what if they did the same thing?
They can change the time of PSX. That's fine.
They changed
August
PSX.
would be fine.
They've changed PSX to February and tell them that Christmas this year you're going to have a PS5 under your
but
tree.
What you said is right? They'll have an announcement in February, and then like a E3-like event, like Jay Tanuki says, they could do it in August, So it'd be like instead of E3, I don't know about August because I think Gamescom is right around there.
Basically, what mine boils down to
is
they will not have a single event unless it's talking about the PS5. Because they don't have enough to show for the world to pay attention to them at this point.
What they will do, and I think this is kind of in line with their strategy, I think they're going to have PSX 2019. They're going to show things like Death Stranding. They're going to show things like Ghost of Tsushima. They're going to show Last of Us Part 2. And all three of those games are going to be cross-gen. So they'll be launch games for the PS5, and they're going to have, we're going to have backwards compatibility, yes.
Yeah.
But they're going to have, enhancements. These games are going to be...
Oh, I mean, the same shit we've seen in past gens.
No. Yes, but no. I don't mean it's the same disc. It's going to just be better on the new system.
No. I mean, it's...
like Last of Us remastered.
It was the same thing when I played Assassin's Creed 4. You were playing Assassin's Creed 4 on PS4.
Exactly.
And you could. It wasn't the same disc.
Right.
They were two different games. It's just one looked way fucking better because it was on the next gen.
But I think now the way Mark Cerny has built the architecture of the PS4, like we had with the PS4, the PS4 Pro is essentially two systems running side by side. They turned half of them off to run a basic game, and then you had boost mode where it used the other one.
Because we're talking truly next gen.
Yeah, I think it's going to be the same conceptually, though, where we're going to have backwards compatibility because the architecture is similar enough that they can scale the build to work just with higher poly models and bigger textures, throw a few extra special effects in, and then PS5. So they can do cross-gen development without having to do it in parallel. It's all part of the same thing. They just turn off some switches.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I think, and how they will bridge that gap until they have legitimately built from the ground up PS5 hardware or software rather. But there's no way in hell we're going to have an announcement at E3 next year and then have them release the following year. There just hasn't been hardware development, software development enough that they'd be in a position to launch a system next year. There just hasn't been.
And that's the thing. I'm not launch. I'm just saying, if they did something around E3, they could say PS5 2020.
They shouldn't.
But
business-wise, right now, they've sold 86 million PS4s. They could sell another 20 million over the course. Actually, probably another 30 million by the time the PS5 releases.
Yeah, but everyone knows that's coming. It's like...
You see, everyone knows, but there's a difference between, the alpha consumer that watches shows like ours, that reads the internet, that goes out, that does the research. They know who Cliff Bleszinski is. They know who fucking David Jaffe is. They're alpha consumers. They're early adopters. So fuck those guys. They had their PS4 5 years ago. It's the mom and pop. Hey, this has finally come down to our price range. We're going to buy it. We're going to get all these games and blah, blah, blah. They're not going to know, it's been 6 years. We can expect a new console. They're not plugged in the same way. So it's like the whole tiered approach to marketing. So, you and I can see the writing on the wall. We know roughly the lifespan of a console. It's going to be either 2020. It might be even later, really, but I figure 2020 is kind of the sweet spot.
No, it has to be 2020.
I mean, I would have said that until Trump started screwing up the whole Chinese tariffs.
I'm saying it has to be 2020 at this point, because even when we were a couple years into PS4, we still saw stuff a few years in advance of like, oh, I'm waiting for that. We need that next system now. Like they're...
Yeah, I mean, you think about the PS3, it had a 7-year lifespan. The Xbox 360 had an 8-year lifespan.
Because it had a year jump.
Right, exactly. So, I mean, technically speaking, we are not to the point where the PS4 is really being 100% utilized. Like, you think about The Last of Us on the PS3, like the bleeding edge.
Do you want to tell me about how much horsepower you needed to animate the beard in Detroit again?
Right?
You're telling me they're not fucking wrenching that power out of that thing by now?
I mean, you compare the performance of Genji Days of the Blade, right, where it was like a 15 FPS slideshow versus The Last of Us, right? Like, optimization goes a long way.
Yeah.
And I mean, granted, it's operating really, really well now, but they can still optimize. They can, like, squeeze it right up to the nuts, you know? I mean, granted, they don't have to, but while the PS4 is selling, there's not really that same incentive to jump to the next system. Now, if the sales were in the opposite and they were Microsoft, they would absolutely go, oh, yeah, this year we got to go.
It's going to be one of those situations because the longer they wait, the closer Microsoft gets to having a new system, having killer exclusives, getting that jump on them again. So
I don't think we're going to see another generation anytime soon where one console has a year jump on the other. Like, I think we're going to be like, when Microsoft is going, Sony will go regardless. Oh, thank you.
For YouTube?
I for YouTube? I for YouTube. I'm hoping that was close enough.
Yeah.
I for YouTube.
Well,
Hofo Domo, welcome to the stream, and thank you for following. So, anyway, I'm hoping that's the case, and obviously Sony is not stupid. The thing that doesn't... there's one more thing I want to talk about, and I don't get this at all.
Okay, well, you're going to have to go quick.
We'll go quick. One thing I see this week a lot of is people talking about, oh, it's the return of the old arrogant Sony. Like, they don't need to be at E3. It's arrogant Sony's rearing its ugly head. And I'm like, I don't know if that's just fanboy talk or what, but I don't understand where people are coming to that conclusion. Like, how is that arrogant?
There's a lot of people who, it sounds like they're arrogant themselves because they think that the E3 is the make or break for a company.
I mean, North America, it's big, but...
It fucking isn't, though. We enjoy the shit out of E3. I'm not trying to put that down because, I mean, we do our couch show and everything like that. We have a great time with E3 and stuff like that.
Yes.
But we've come into this era where E3 is not necessary anymore because there's so many other game shows.
But it's like the Super Bowl.
I know. That's what I'm saying. It's not. It's not that it's not fun. It's just it's not necessary like it used to be.
I guess
we have daily 24-hour gaming news sites. We have a bunch of dedicated game-centric, user-centric shows around the world through the whole year. E3 is not the crown jewel anymore.
I have to disagree with that. I mean, that's the event that, like, it is literally the gamer Super Bowl.
The only reason why it keeps up that way is because people keep like feeding into it like that.
Well,
but it isn't necessary.
That's why Valentine's Day is popular, is because people keep feeding into it.
But you have to admit that over the past few years of E3, even though we've had a good time, it's been less and less exciting every single year because it's like, oh, this got leaked, or we knew about this 3 months ago, or like we've seen all these already. So
I would say that last year wasn't exciting as the year before, but yes, like the year before was the quote-unquote year of dreams, like the Final Fantasy remake and Shenmue 3 and Crash Bandicoot coming back and everything else. Like, but it goes up and down. What about the concert that Sony had with, like, they had Bear McCreary out directing it live to God of War? Come on!
It's
pageantry!
That's the Super Bowl halftime show. I just, like, it's fun when it's happening. It isn't necessary, though.
It's never necessary, but it's such a good event. And, like, it brings people together for old school networking. You have parties and you have developers hanging out and dealing with media.
Unless you're actually networking, like you're a businessman there, it's not happening.
You know what?
Those shows are a shit show on the floor.
I'm really fucking pissed because I was going to be at E3 this year, and it's like now it's like, do I even bother?
Might still be worth it. Who knows?
But I was going to go. It's going to be the huge deal, and son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Disappointing. All right. Doesn't matter. Let's take 5 minutes. Do you have a thing?
No, we're doing it. No, we're saving it for next week. We are way over time already.
We're not way over time. With all of our technical issues, I don't think we're way over time.
It's already 10 after. I got shit to do, man. Come on.
All right, fine. I was willing to do another segment, but Dan's got shit to do, so...
Because we'll spend another 20 minutes on that.
20 minutes on your thing?
Yeah.
Really?
It's a steal this idea. That's my favorite fucking options menu. So.
All right. Goes back in the rotation for
everyone
4
in the
weeks
chat
from now.
will have to tune in next week to see what my steal this idea is.
Oh, what's being played and why would you play that? I've got a game for Dan.
Hey, we're going to figure out what it is.
No.
You've got to pick your games. I get to pick my games. Now, I'm probably going to play it anyways because I love shitty games, so...
I've got a game for you, let me tell you. Doesn't matter.
It's not Fallout 76.
It is not Fallout 76. Close your eyes and it's Tron talking. But good on you, Rurutu. Clap, clap. Anyway, so tomorrow at 7 p.m. Central Time, Kelly will be here with Claytoon. Albel is out of the studio tomorrow.
Okay.
So they'll be talking about... I'm not even sure what they're talking about. What's the news this week? Oh, Marvel's... Some guy from Marvel, some big muckety bucket Marvel got arrested for some kind of thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, there we go. I'll have to tune in because I didn't even
Some
hear
like
about that.
actual criminal offenses. It was posted in the Discord. You can check it out. But yeah, I'm assuming they'll have some sort of other comic-related news, but, stuff like that. No, not Fallout 75 either. God damn it.
74? 73.
Wednesday, of course, we'll be back with Daniel and Jackson. They'll be at Players Guide Live, 7 p.m. Central Time. And Thursday, do you want to know? Do you want to know what
No, I don't want to know what it is.
Okay.
Wait, what console is it on?
It's on the PS4.
PS4?
Yes.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes. Oh, it's terrible.
Because a lot of our forays into this have been on PS3 so far.
Yes,
so.
because typically, this one's bad. This one's not great. And you've probably seen it before, like in the store, and gone,
Did you buy something new?
kind of.
Is it brand new or is it like a used copy like from years ago?
It's new to you.
Obviously it is. I have no idea what it is.
There was a very large Black Friday sale.
Oh, okay.
And there's a bunch of shit was like on deep discount.
Okay.
I got Doodle God for like 40 cents.
Wow, whole 40
So,
cents.
and that was, I was playing that, and it's like, wow, this is just kind of okay. And so that killed like an afternoon
It
one
was
day.
40 cents.
Yeah, 40 cents. I'm like, okay, I got, bar shrapnel, basically. So anyway, no, but I bought something for a couple of bucks that is awful.
Okay, it better be fucking awful.
Oh, yes. Don't worry there. So why would you play that? Returns Thursday, 8 p.m. Central Time. We'll be playing some truly awful fucking games.
It's not Knack.
It is. I do have it.
I know you have it.
One of these days we'll do Knack 2 because it's co-op.
It's the co-op one, yeah.
So bad.
Yeah.
Knack wasn't bad. It was just kind of...
It was so bland.
It was very bland.
It was so bland.
Like pablum was like, paste in water. It was like, Anyway. All right, so that is our programming schedule for this week. Thank you very much for coming out and joining us tonight. If you are new in the stream, welcome to the stream. Please hit the follow button at the bottom. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can hit the subscribe button, which is roughly in the same spot on both.
Somewhere down around there.
Yep. You can reach out to us at Digital_Fiasco on Twitter. Give us some ideas. Give us some comments, some questions.
Yep. Any questions you want us to answer? Any games suggested to play on why would you play that or having doing stuff is fun. So
Yep.
And
you can also check us out on PSU.com. Our PlayStation Universe home away from home. Yep. So tune in tomorrow. See Comics Ons with Kelly and Claytoon. And from us here at Digital Fiasco. Thanks very much for watching again. I'm Jack McBastard.
And I'm Dandr0id.
And we will be returning next week. So thanks very much for watching. Have a good night, folks. By the way, if you want to stick around for a couple seconds, we're going to find someone locally here to pass the love along to and raid some folks. Good night, folks.
Good night.